Uh, Here we are, right on the edge of the new 20s. It's just like the old 20s, right on the verge of economic collapse. The presidency is a bed of corruption, and the middle class basically doesn't exist anymore. Ah, memories. Hi, welcome to the end of the year roundup.
You know, what a nice 9 years that it's going to be ahead of us
Yeah,
before Wall Street collapses again. Because, of course, everything works in, 100-year increments.
yeah. I think it's starting to kind of speed up just a little. Like, I think we're
It
getting, like,
better.
snippets of it every couple of months.
Yeah, that's Moore's Law. Everything just moves quicker over time.
Yeah. Even time.
Time gets quick. Time keeps on slipping, as someone said.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some guy.
Some dude flying like an eagle. I don't know.
What does he know?
He's probably dead.
He could be.
It's the new 20s, baby. A whole bunch of people are dead by now.
If anything can be proven, is that I never know when any person is alive or dead.
Yeah, it always comes up to just like some random. For me, it's always on Tumblr. Like I'll just go through and there's like, oh, trending page and the person's name. Oh, is it their birthday? Nope, they died.
They gone.
That's the extent of it. That's how I learned basically everybody, like David Bowie, Alan Rickman, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the hell
Alan
died this
Thicke.
year, which I'm sure you know, but you know.
Oh, I do. We'll get into that at some point, just like we did last year.
Yeah.
But
But if if you haven't been around with us for too long and haven't gone back to look at our catalog, the fuck you doing here? Go listen to our other stuff. You robbing us of listens? What's wrong with you?
new episodes are not for you. You're
Yeah.
banned. You're barred.
This is
Even.
this is like comic books. If you don't listen or watch or whatever or read whatever previous stuff came before, you're not willing to be here in the present. Now go get your ass back there.
You're gonna be so confused. You're just gonna be staring at the podcast like, what? I don't follow.
We're gonna make references and stuff like, oh, you remember the guy that broke into my house in that one episode and everything was really crazy? Then he joined the podcast. Oh my god, you'd never know about that one.
When did the lizard die? I didn't know he died.
Yeah. When did
Well,
we
maybe
stop?
if you
When
had
did we
listened.
stop recording in Antarctica? You wouldn't know.
You weren't there. You don't even
Bastards.
know. You don't even remember that time that we had Al Borland on the show as a guest star. Guest host Al Borland.
You never cease to amaze me with the names you can bring up, and I'm just like, he could be making a name up, and I wouldn't know.
Al was Tim the Toolman Taylor's sidekick
Oh,
on Tool Time, the show inside Home Improvement.
of course.
I forget that actor's name. Richard something.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. He could be dead too.
Probably. Anyway, this is our end of the year roundup where we tend to look back on the year that we had just gone through, not just with our show, but kind of with our own personal lives. So we can kind of give you yet another tiny, excruciatingly small snippet into our personal lives so that you can just slightly vicariously live through the lives of your maybe sixth favorite podcasters.
The glitz, the glamour, the opium dens. This is
Yeah.
our lives as they were.
Mm-hmm. Our lives in undisclosed location X32.
Redacted location.
Yeah, we keep finding ways out, and they keep pulling us back in.
I'm too old for this. I was gonna retire. I was gonna retire from the podcasting game, and then you pulled me back in. You're like, we gotta do a wrap-up show.
I showed up outside your house in a van, all beaten up, covered in scars. We got to do one more job. But yeah, just wanted to give a little kind of round out for the year. We don't tend to we like just being able to chat because like we've mentioned it before. We've lost entire episodes just rambling on about shit. This tends to be
yeah.
This tends to be our more relaxed situation, and this is what we're actually like, rather than just geriatric old men in young men's bodies.
Yep. And this will be sort of the rounding out of the year, as has been said, and will be the tie over until the next episode, because obviously the holiday break, we get things in order, and the start of season 3 will be at the end of January, basically.
Hell yeah. Who knows what we'll be doing? I mean, we do, but you don't. I mean, half the time, sometimes I don't even know, so, you know. Everyone's
Sometimes
surprised.
I forget. I was actually given an idea recently by a mutual friend of ours for an episode to do, and I'm planning on doing it early in the year next year. It might be my second pick. But I didn't know how many times that movie had been remade. I didn't know it had been remade at all. But from like 1914 all the way up until like current day, they're in the talks of doing another one, and I had no clue.
Shit.
So
it's like the My Town of fucking movies.
It is everything. It is cinema.
It is the movie.
Have you seen the movie?
What if a world that we would live in that was like that, where there was only one movie? Do you think it would just be like just the concept of movies only made it to one? Do you think it would be a normal length movie like in our time, like 2 hours, maybe 3 at max, or do you think it would be like a multi-day long thing that you could just like go to certain parts of that has like entire subgenres within it that you can watch? Like, oh, I'm into a Western tonight. Okay, let's go to hour 32 of the movie.
I think that is so far removed from anything that has happened or will happen in our lifetime that you can say it is whatever you want because it is pure fantasy.
All right, jeez.
So you can create it however you want it to be.
All right. I personally think it would just be the 1 2 hour one, and everyone's like, "This medium sucks. Let's do something else."
Yeah, the commercials would all just be a black background with white text that says "the movie starring him."
The very first movie ever made. The only movie they had a chance to capture everyone with was The Departed, and everyone left.
Oh, that's sad.
Which I say that, but even just recently I saw. I sent you a Snapchat, a screenshot of it. It was some article I think I saw floating around on Reddit that was talking about how both The Departed and Infernal Affairs, which obviously was based off of, were both masterclass movies in their own right. And it was talking about how The Departed was the most brilliant use of a remake ever. And I wanted to punch myself in the mouth. Like, I saw that and I was like, wow. We suck. It made me want to die.
Different strokes, man. Different strokes. That's all you can say.
Different strokes for different morons.
That's all you can say at that point. Different opinions. Some people like that thing.
Yeah, well, other people also think, like, you know, Nazis were right. So who gives a fuck? You can have a wrong opinion.
That's not a straw man argument.
I fully believe you can have a wrong opinion. It's like saying, oh, I like listening to music that's out of tune, or I like people that like other people to be hurt. It's like, I know that's your opinion, but your opinion is wrong.
I mean, I can't fight you on this. I don't know why I'm bothering either. I didn't like the movie either.
Yeah, no, it's like it's fine. I just get riled up about it. And I do love that. I think you actually mentioned it on a previous episode before. It may have even been the year in review, where you said to me after I went on about The Departed for a little bit, it's like, I think you're more mad now than when we actually reviewed it. And you know what? Yeah, every single time I think about it again, I get a little bit more angry about it.
That's fair. Be as angry as you want to be, baby.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster.
I guess that could lead us to, speaking of somewhat awkward segues, I guess that can lead us into, our opinions of some of the films we've done this year.
The master of segues.
Because, I know for last year, I had mentioned that The Departed was definitely the worst one that we had watched together for the show. I can't remember what I said what the best one was. I think I said Blade Runner.
You might have. I know that mine was The Day of the Jackal.
Yeah, mine was up there too. I think between the two, I think I came up with Blade Runner though, or at the very least, the Blade Runner was the best remake.
Yeah, I don't remember if we split it up as heavily as that.
Yeah,
But we very well could have.
it's been a while.
So, I mean, of the things that we've done this year, I I mean, I want to say Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah,
Just I mean, I wasn't a fan of it. It was boring, it was nonsensical. They just stupid decisions were made, changes were made that weren't necessary for anything. Like truly pointless things. Like when they make a film based off a book and they change like two letters in the main character's name.
yeah.
And
It's
you're
I
just
think
like,
it's
why?
I guess to like appeal to the American audience or something, where it's like, man, people liked the original because it didn't appeal to American audiences. They liked the difference in culture and how they like just blatantly change lines or don't use cool lines. It's like, god damn it.
What are you doing? Look at yourself. What are you doing?
And just a pure waste of Beat Takeshi. Like, I mean, like he was the only good part of that movie, but still,
But
like that,
I mean,
that poor man.
there are so many. Like neither of the Clash of the Titans were any good.
Oh yeah, that was a unique one where both of them sucked. Normally, we
Yeah.
at least get one that's like mediocre at the very least.
They both sucked in their own special ways.
Yeah,
But if I had to pick the worst one, it'd probably be The Secret in Him 2, just because it wasn't made well either.
yeah, that one was just like pure bad quality all the way down.
Yeah, just slapped together.
Mm.
Horrible. Even some of these others, at least like, I don't know, the cinematography's good.
Yeah,
Or
like even
the colors are nice.
even the remake of The Music Man, it's like at least they still had the songs. Like, and the choreography was decent. It's just Matthew Broderick's boring.
Yeah, it wasn't like all around horrible.
Yeah.
Oh well, what are you gonna do? As far as best goes, I don't know, because I mean something like Return to Oz I already liked beforehand
Yeah.
and I'm a big fan of, and obviously like The Godfather is a great film.
Right.
But
And I've already told myself that for my favorite, I'm not allowed to pick The Godfather because like that's too easy.
right. But there
I'm
were
tempted
others...
to pick I'm tempted
Sorry?
to pick Godfather 2 because I had never seen it all the way through. But at the same time, like half the movie I wasn't a huge fan of. I didn't like any of the parts with Michael. I liked the parts with Robert De Niro.
Can I nominate a third of the movie for best movie?
Yeah.
But there are others that like surprised me too.
Mm.
Like 96's Nutty Professor wasn't horrible. Like some of the comedy doesn't appeal to me necessarily, but it wasn't a bad movie, I don't think.
Yeah, I've certainly seen worse 90s films.
Exactly. And I mean on that note of that type of stuff too, like The Day the Earth Stood Still in 1951.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that would really bore me, but it didn't.
Yeah, it was actually really genuine.
You know what? You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say for me, it's between the original Day the Earth Stood Still and the original Frankenstein. Those would probably be... I'm not sure which one, though.
The classics.
Yeah.
I think... Well, since I didn't explicitly state my worst, I think mine unequivocally will be the new Ghost in the Shell. Simply because, like, it's just, my God. Like, and I loved the original so much. Like, it's one of the best films I've ever seen in general. Not the best one we've done this year, I think, personally, but still really good. But, yeah, it's just, Scarlett Johansson's a flat piece of bread. It completely ruins the story. Just there's no aspect of it that actually carried over. None of the good aspects of it actually carried over. Even the scenes where they had every right to make something good and just remake it better from the original, they just did the most putsy version. Like the biggest one I can remember is there's that really iconic scene where like the captain or commander, I can't remember the character's name, like the main character was chasing this criminal down this really narrow alleyway, and above there's this huge jet cargo plane flying really really low. And it's a stunning shot in the original, but then in the new one they had the same shot, but it was just like a pokey kind of like helicopter, not even like centered on the frame. It was just kind of there. It was like, how'd you fuck that up? How do you do that? Like, how did you see that and be like, this is the best option? Like, how on earth do you mess up something as simple as a cool plane, center of the shot, low down? That's it.
Things that are so bad or annoying that they stick with you more than the good aspects of the movie.
Yeah. I can't remember any good fucking aspects of that movie. I mean, like, I was about to say even the visuals were good, but no, they were really boring. They were the most generic versions of every cyberpunk movie we've seen since Blade Runner.
I'll stand by this, and I know the only reason it stands out to me is because I know it's like the one good thing I brought up in the episode, but when she first goes into that geisha android's mind, and she's like falling into like all the that's a cool special effect. I think it's unnecessary, and it story-wise it's really confusing, like what's happening, but as an effect I think it looks neat. That's it.
Yeah, that's about the extent of it. So yeah, that's definitely my worst for the year. I think for best, honestly, I think kind of a sleeper hit for me was the original Thief of Baghdad. Like, that one was incredible. Like, beautiful cinematography. Obviously, you know, the main character was not even remotely Arabian, but still. Just like how genuine it was, and how much it at least seemingly was sticking to its original source material without, you know, kind of bashing over the head. You know, we saw the remake immediately after that, where it was really generic, where it wouldn't go so far as to say, "Oh, this person is the whatever the Muslim equivalent of priest is of this place." It's like, no, he's a magical shaman or something. It's like, fucking what? Whereas, you know, there are moments in the original that's explicitly being like, no, these are meant to be following teachings of Islam and everything. And it's showing a really cool look into this cultural landmark of this, you know, well, culture. And so it was beautiful in so many ways. So that one's gotta at the very least be up there. Beyond that,
yeah, there were a lot that were better than I thought they were. Yeah. Like, I thought that the 50s version of Fritz Lang's M would be horrible because I couldn't find any information about it online.
Yeah, that was weird.
But it wasn't bad. And The Borrowers was not bad either. It was just like a 90s gross out movie, but for a family film it's fine.
Yeah. So I loved Arrietty though.
Arrietty's good. I don't remember if I had any like strong feelings about anything in it though.
Yeah, that is the downside of it. It is such a Ghibli movie that it's like, and not even like, even by Ghibli standards, not a lot happens. Like, there's some minor drama, but it's nothing we haven't really seen before, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of sleepy.
Yeah, like even by Ghibli standards. So, I think I really like the original Music Man as well, but I really am trying to think. Like, there aren't a whole lot of huge standouts this year, at least or this season, I should say. So I probably am gonna stick to Thief of Baghdad just because it was just so different from something I'm used to, and like a lot of silent films can just kind of bore me to tears sometimes. So that one was really good. You know, it's well done, good effects for the time and everything, great sets. You know, you got friggin' balls to the wall at the end with like the magical army and everything. You know, the benefit of the older movies, you could get some really cool shots because it literally was just like stand on the street corner and be like, "Who wants to be in a movie?" And just like put everyone in costumes and slap them on the ass and let them have fun.
Yeah, they're having fun. Yeah. I also like how they tinted the color of different scenes too.
Yep.
To get around the coloring issues, and it's actually, I mean, it does well for the movie. It's different. And it's not like they're constantly using it either, so whenever it happens, it's during one of his trials. He's in like a den fighting a lizard or something.
Yeah.
And it looks cool because it's like outlandish. You're not expecting to see, oh, everything's red shifted now. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's the benefit of those older movies, is that you could just so explicitly say, like, things are different now without it being, like, overt. Like, it's overt, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's like, okay, yeah, this is just something they needed to do.
Yeah, this is what is happening now.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably, I gotta say, probably Thief of Baghdad. That one I lived a lot.
All right, that's cool. And I would like to say, because I had forgotten this earlier, in a similar vein to you saying you wouldn't do Godfather because it's too obvious of a pick, I did make a similar rule for myself ahead of time that I wouldn't do the Disney Alice in Wonderland animated movie, just because that's my favorite Disney animated movie.
Ah, gotcha. I barely even remembered the remake. I was like, oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
That weird, nonsensical romp. Well, maybe not nonsensical. The original was nonsensical, but still.
Yeah, I still love it.
The remake wasn't nonsensical enough.
And with that, I think we actually covered every single episode we did this year, with the exception of The Omen and Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, what can be said about either of them?
Yeah.
The Omen was good. Spider-Man was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yep. So that's where you stand. But I mean, that's just for the show. We watched other stuff this year too. What about?
Oh yeah, a lot of not necessarily a lot of stuff came out this year that I can think of, but I have a lot of things of strong opinions at the very least.
Ooh. Do tell.
Well, I think I'll go and just start off on the high note. I think the best one I had seen was, honestly, it's either Knives Out, which I talked about last time, just because it was just like a bit different for a whodunit, and it was just done. It wasn't doing anything huge, but it did it pretty dang well. Like, there's a lot of polish to it, it feels like. So that one was pretty good. And then I think close right after that, if like I think tied for best movie, Detective Pikachu. I'm not even kidding. It was really good. There were some editing issues that were kind of weird, but beyond that, like a solid A- of a film.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it was just fun. But then on the opposite end of that, where I had two movies that I've at least developed pretty strong feelings for, in the more negative sense. First one being Toy Story 4, which I really wanted to like. I desperately wanted to like, but the more and more I thought about it, I was like, man, that's disappointing. It was a 2-hour film that was so freaking gorgeous. Like, one of the best animated films I've ever seen, like, ever. And, like, Pixar completely just knocking it out of the park every single time they create something new, with at least visually. But just, like, in the recent years, their stories have just kind of gone to shit. Like, either they're just... I feel like they're being more harangued by Disney than ever, just to have more generic plots. And not even necessarily generic plots, but plots with not a lot of teeth. Because, like, the first Toy Story, like, a lot of crap happened. Like, the demented evil toys and everything, and Sid and all that stuff, and the fact that Woody straight up tried to kill Buzz on a couple occasions. Just, like, it did a lot. Like, a lot was going on. But then this one, it was just 2 hours of kind of putzing around and, like, trying to bring up, like, old characters, and, like, oh, there's kind of this bigger adventure where they're not inside a normal house, they're off in this big thing, and, like, none of the characters we've had years to love and enjoy were on screen. It was just celebrity cameos and shit, like, the entire fucking time. Like, I think I remember I counted, it's 8 new characters are introduced. 8. Like, not even side characters that, like, show up in Toy Story 3. They're just kind of there to help, like, kind of move the plot along a little. No, I mean 8 distinct characters with arcs and goals and everything.
Yeah, who could forget?
It's insane.
Fork, Goosebumps dummy, Key and Peele, all of the Toy Story characters.
Yeah, And, like, it had such a disappointing villain and everything, where, like, all the villains in all the previous movies have been so good. Like, Sid was crazy. Stinky Pete was, like, conniving and everything. Lotso was a straight-up dictator. And I was really hoping that, and I even mentioned it back then, but I'll say it again, because it's worth repeating. Leading up to this, and even a little bit in the film, it was really building up that this character really seemed like she was going to be straight-up insane, because she's, like, been locked in an antique shop for all her life without anyone to help her, with a broken voice box, and one of the main plot points is that she wants to butcher out Woody's voice box in order to get, adopted, sort of. And so it's like, oh, she wants to cut him open. That's awesome. But then that just gets absolved. It gets resolved, like, immediately. Well, I mean, not immediately, but it gets resolved, like, with no conflict. It's like, oh, okay. And then she ends up just being kind of a good guy at the end. It's like, what? No! What was the conflict of this movie? What the hell was the plot?
What's all that stuff that we did?
Yeah, so that's Toy Story 4. And that's not even the one I have the biggest opinion of, which it's the one I had the most complex opinion about, because, like, it's a hallmark for me, it's the thing it's the one, it was the part of the first movies I had ever seen. But the big one was the Lion King remake.
Yeah.
Oh, God, fucking what can be said? It hasn't been said 1,000 times. Dull, lifeless. We literally saw better lion CGIs in the Chronicles of Narnia, and Between the Lions. It's like, I think it was actually something really funny. There's a commercial. There's a Disney commercial for the Disney parks with this adorable little thing. It's this adorable little animated duck, like
yes.
CG duck that sees a comic book with Donald the Duck in it, Donald Duck in it, and gets, like, inspired and everything. It's, like, really hopeful. And then he is chasing after the comic page or something. I can't remember, but he bursts through the trees, and all of a sudden he's in the Disney park, and in front of him is standing the Donald Duck mascot, and it's the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And the detail and the expressiveness of that little duck in this, like, 1 minute maybe commercial is more expressive than any character in the entire Lion King remake. It's insane. They had have had it all, but they did nothing.
The only takeaway I ever got from reading a Carl Barks comic is that I wish I was as lucky as Gladstone Gander.
I'm glad that's the takeaway from this.
No, I do love that commercial, though. I've seen it a handful of times, and it's really cute.
It's just cute. It's just like,
he even does the little. He's a realistic duck, and he's doing these cartoony, like, he does the Donald Duck, like, wind up his fist, jumping around, getting mad.
Yeah,
it's cute.
It's like we could have totally had that for the Lion King, but no, it had to look realistic, and which it didn't even look realistic. Like there are so many moments where, like, I've seen nature documentaries. I see how lions move and react, and they didn't move like that. They acted weird and stiff, like puppets. They had the worst aspects of both. And I just know the fact that all the complaining in the world will not stop them from making more, and won't stop more people from going to see it, which, like, that's on me as well. But I was going with my girlfriend. I had a good time.
We will talk about that a bit later. Disney will not stop until they renew all of their IPs.
Yeah, until Disney owns everything, which they fucking already do. But yeah, those are the highlights of my film year. I didn't end up watching a whole lot of new stuff this year. A lot of fucking Marvel stuff came out that I just looked up the scenes for later, because I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to give this franchise any more money. I saw John Wick 3. That one was pretty good. I
Parabellum.
Yeah, which I realize now after seeing the movie, Parabellum means prepare for war in Latin. I thought it just meant, because, like, Parabellum is also the name for a type of gun.
Yeah, we found that out last year. We were making fun of the title and being like, what does that even mean? This poster looks stupid.
Exactly. And I said, John Wick 3, gun.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So like that was funny, but then I watched because they actually say in the thing, like a guy says in Latin, like the phrase, the phrase, "If you wish for peace, prepare for war," that sort of thing.
Yes.
So they had said that. So I saw that. That was pretty good, and I saw the Godzilla King of the Monsters one. That was pretty good too. I think it got a lot more shit than it deserved. Like I don't know why people were so down on it. Like it was really cool. It was giant monster fights. Like what the hell?
Which, well, exactly. But the thing is how much of that did they show? I knew that we were worried.
Oh, they showed
that.
a bunch. Like if anything, the biggest complaint people had was that now there's too much monster fights, and I was like, you people are high. Like, what do you want?
Yeah, that's the point.
Like it was so cool.
I remember suggesting that they just have like a knockout, drag-out fight with all of the Toho Godzilla monsters, and then they have a third movie where aliens come down with Mechagodzilla, and that's the end of the trilogy.
I think they are leading up to at least having Mecha Ghidorah, which is gonna be kind of cool.
Of course.
Yeah, because like there's an end credit scene where like there's some shady eco-terrorist group who like get one of Ghidorah's like severed heads, and like they're planning to do something with it. But it's left open ended, so who knows?
The best I can hope for hearing the term eco-terrorist group in a Godzilla film is that it means Biollante will be in the next one.
It's got the guy who played the head Lannister guy from Game of Thrones. Like he's like the head of it, like who had a pretty minor role in this, but he was one of the best parts of it. A lot of the actors were kind of eh.
Oh, that's good. I know nothing about Game of Thrones, John.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's the most I know him from. That's what everyone else knew him from. So, but
that's fair.
But yeah, that's the extent of what I've seen that I can think of. I really wanted to see one movie. I'll say that I wished I had seen, but I didn't. Was Ad Astra with Brad Pitt, like the big space movie and everything, because I like space. I heard mixed things about that, but that seems to always be the case. It's a space movie that isn't like just explicitly sci-fi. It's more a drama than sci-fi.
So. Yeah, I had seen a bit on that. So
yeah, didn't really see anything else. I saw scenes from stuff, and I saw like synopsis videos on a few things like Midsummer and that sort of thing.
Okay, I gotcha.
Didn't see Aladdin because I was like, no. Oh yeah, Lego Movie 2. That was it. That's the other one I was thinking of. That was okay. Wasn't as good as the first one.
I've been thinking on this, and I can't think of anything I saw this year that, well, first of all, that really came out this year. I did not do due diligence on that. I need to get better at that, but there's always other stuff I want to see.
Right.
I'll be seeing stuff like Detective Pikachu and Knives Out next year.
Woo!
Once they're old and in the zeitgeist. But I don't think I really watched anything this year that I would consider not good or bad, with the exception of stuff for the show. But yeah. I mean, Harold and Maude I already liked. Akira I already liked. I didn't think either of those Nickelodeon Netflix specials were bad. I saw Mask of the Phantasm again. What's the other one? Yeah. And that's like the best Batman movie. So I don't know. I saw a bunch of really good stuff this year. Frankly.
Yeah. Like, I cannot... I'm sure I've watched plenty of old stuff, I'm sure, but I cannot for the life of me remember a lot of it. I think a lot of the year I also just, like, can't fucking remember, because... my God, this has been a long one.
Yeah, I always keep lists of literally everything I do because I'm a lunatic. So I mean, I saw like No Country for Old Men. I saw The Founder. The new Grinch film was sort of meh, but it wasn't awful. The only thing I hated about that movie is the rap remix they did for the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" song. I don't think it works.
Yeah, having rap version of basically anything has never worked.
Yeah, I don't like rap. I really don't.
I think it's fine. I just don't think it should be mixed in with other shit.
I don't think it's like a horrible genre that's the death of the medium, but I've never been able to get into it either.
Right. I think it's a cultural thing more than anything.
Probably.
So I'm sure plenty of people don't like sea shanties, but I love them.
That is the ultimate music. That is the purest form of music.
It is the only form of music that is completely pure.
Pirate rock.
Oh God. Oh Jesus. But yeah. This has been a long year. God, I've lived in 3 different places here this year. That's got to be a record.
What a year.
What a year this couple of months has been.
That sounds like an adventure. Meanwhile, I've gone nowhere.
I mean, that's can
Done
also be
nothing.
adventurous, or at the very least, it doesn't need to be adventurous. Sometimes it can be relaxing. Because the thing about being adventurous, or not being adventurous, thinking about adventures, they fucking exhaust you after a while.
Yep.
Because I've been, God, I moved out of that old place in June, which that place sucked and the AC didn't work anymore, so good riddance. Moved into the new place, kept working at my job at the time. That started going downhill, so I looked for a new place close to my girlfriend. Moved here in the span of a month, but it felt like both 3 years and 2 days. Got a new job, and it's 1,000% better than the last one. There's nice people and a team I can rely on, and now I'm on salary and I got a 10% raise. It's what the shit? Well, no, I got a 5% raise at first for my original place. Then I got a 10% raise on top of that. So
You're living the high life, I must say.
hell yeah, good old $36.50 a year.
Woo!
Yeah, I don't make a lot, but it's more than I expected to make. I'm not in poverty. That's the key.
That is the key. That is the most important thing there.
That is the most important thing at this point. I'm not impoverished. I have a nice new place. I live near someone I love. It's going pretty good, and it is still crazy, and I can still keep getting beaten over the head with shit that just wants to keep me down. Every time I have a cool new good thing, another random bad thing happens to be okay, but we're gonna hit you with this. My car's been having issues, and it's shitty weather, and I gotta fly home for Christmas and everything. It's oh, good lord.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah, once January hits, I'm gonna fucking pass out.
And well deserved. And that's why our episode in 2020 will be delayed. Season 3 at the end of January.
Yeah, we need some time. More aptly, at least I need some time. Even if you were hey, let's just go straight into it, I would have been no. If you want to do a solo episode, you go right the fuck ahead. But I am going to be asleep from January 1st to January 7th at a minimum.
Oh, there'll be a lot of editing in that episode. I'll have to stop talking and catch my breath.
Yeah. God.
What else even happened this year? I can't... Well, I mean the Oscars, because they happen every year.
I mean, yeah. Nah.
They'll die soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I really have kind of, and I kind of brought this up before we started recording, but, I think I've kind of officially decided I don't give a shit about the Oscars anymore. Because, because so many of the movies, it just seems, there's so many movies being awarded, being nominated now, that it barely means anything when anything wins something. Because it's just oh, it's not really picking the cream of the crop, but we're just picking all the ones that just distinctly were Oscar bait. But then on top of that, it's just, in the last few years especially, and I'm sure it's been like this for years, but I've really taken notice lately, the Oscars have been next level disrespectful to filmmakers. It started off with the Moonlight La La Land whole deal, where Moonlight was supposed to have won the Oscar for best movie, but La La Land got to share the spotlight for a bit and will forever share the spotlight with an incredible film that touched on a really deep and meaningful subject. It will forever have to share its spotlight with a generic fucking musical flick with two actors who are as white bread as possible, one of which couldn't even sing. Just like, and how they constantly going on like, oh, how it's such a cultural landmark, talking about jazz and everything. Meanwhile, it's about jazz, one of the biggest cultural cornerstones of the black community in America, and the main characters are white, and the only black characters are like comedic. It's like, God fucking damn it. Meanwhile, Moonlight's about a gay black man. It's like that's going around. It's like, fucking, that's insane. You never see films like that. It's incredible.
I really thought that was gonna. I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, and it was that, and then the year after that, I think, or something like that, they started doing what they considered the lesser Oscars in the middle of commercial breaks to save on time, where it's like, no, these people deserve their recognition. And do you want to know how you'll save on time? If you nominate less fucking movies and you don't have your stupid character presenters coming up saying a bunch of bullshit before every intermission. It's like, trim down on people like fucking Seth MacFarlane, for fuck's sake.
We didn't need Keegan-Michael Key to fly in on an umbrella to sing a song from Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's just this whole big attempted spectacle thing that just makes no sense. It's like, and then just having the genuine audacity to just cut out the moments of glory for these people who have worked so hard to be featured and awarded at what is supposed to be the biggest award show of the year, but instead fucking toss to the wayside because, oh, we gotta get the commercials in. And
yeah,
and like the last one that broke the camel's back was recently. It was a Nigerian film, Lionheart, got disqualified from its Oscar entry because I think it was for the foreign film entry, but because the majority of the film is in English, it was disqualified, neglecting the fact that A, it's still from another country, it's not simply foreign language film, it's just foreign film, and B, English is the main language of Nigeria. It's the official language of the country, and you disqualified it. It was just, it's such
if people see a foreign film, Stuart, and they see people speaking English, they're going to think the Oscars are rigged or something. They're going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's just
people are too stupid.
Yeah. The Academy is too fucking stupid. Who the fuck is this Academy, by the way? Who the fuck are they? I want to go punch them in the mouth.
You know what? I actually have a good point on this because I've been done with the Oscars for a while. And, yeah. I mean, if you remember at the end of last year and the top of this year, I was trying to watch everything that was up for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I got pretty close. Just to sort of be involved with the Best Picture process, but even then, I'm still sort of done with it. And part of that spawned from... so I listened to Gilbert Gottfried's podcast, and a couple years ago he had on Robert Wool, who is a member of the Academy, aside from doing other things. Obviously he's in Hollywood, but he is a member on the Academy. And they were
Hollywood, no one has one job, are you kidding me?
Well, yeah. But they were talking about the Oscars, and he was talking about his criteria for voting for the winners of different categories, and obviously his rules don't apply to everyone, but right. They also don't apply only to him because it's human nature. But his rules are he votes for Friends primarily, and he backs himself up in saying that by, I vote for Friends because I want to see Friends succeed. And he's very matter-of-fact about it, which I appreciate, but also, like, looking at it from the outside looking in, it's like, that shouldn't be how it is, right?
Yeah.
That kind of
nepotistic prick.
Yeah, and his second, I don't remember how many rules he had, but the second one also stuck with me. I agree with it a little more, but still, it's like, what are you doing? You're diluting the process, and that's that he doesn't vote for kids, ever. If they're up for it, because he's like, well, some of these people been here, they've never won an Oscar in their entire life. How would you feel if you're up for Best Actress and some 20-something comes in and takes it from you? You've been nominated 5 times and have never won, and you're in your 60s. It's like, I get the feeling, but that's not really the point.
Yeah, and also, like, you're part of the Academy, motherfucker. You're the reason that other person hadn't had an award yet. Well,
she also wasn't his friend.
Oh, well, of course.
You see, so... And I mean, obviously, I'm not a member of the Academy, and credit to him, he knows that that's where it lies. He's pretty upfront about it too, that that's the way he votes. So kudos to that. But still, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, it's just I really want to have faith in. I'm not gonna say Hollywood because fuck Hollywood, honestly. Just like historically, fuck Hollywood. I'll state that for every record possible. But I want to have faith in the movie industry, but it just seems like the fact the industry part is the part that always seems to muck everything up. Because there are such good movies out there. They're incredible movies. I mean, like, you can have movies that are so complex and everything that will never get a single award other than, like, makeup or something. Like, fucking Mad Max Fury Road is an action flick. It's a giant car chase. It's also one of the best shot movies ever. It's got incredible lore through its visuals. It's got some of the coolest visuals flat out. Some of the best practical effects. Some of the best practical moments. It's an incredible piece of cinema that deserves so much attention, not simply for the fact that it's an action movie, but it will only ever be labeled as that because, like, that's what, not necessarily what everyone sees, but it's what the people at the top seem to see. It's like, it's just stuff like that where I'll always have love of movies, but I will never have love of the industry they're in.
Yeah, it's incredibly, and we talked about this last year too when we started off our last one talking about our last end of year wrap up show by talking about the film class we were in college.
Yeah,
and that we just like movies, and I mean movies are an art form. I'm not going to get into that. That is such a stupid debate because it seems so obvious what the answer is.
Yeah,
but
it's a creative endeavor. It's an art form. There we go.
Yep, that's the end. I don't have to fight about it. But
you have objectively defined an art form.
But like, I like stupid, shitty B horror movies. Like,
yeah,
what's it matter? Could I see one of those winning an award for something? No, but I don't know. I care too much about just movies in general to be so snobbish as to think that this fits this criteria, this fits that criteria. This person has been nominated for Best Actor 6 or 7 times, but will never win.
Yeah, for whatever X reason or some bullshit.
Yeah, I really don't know at this point. And I was talking about, like, the top of this year, I tried to do the Best Picture thing, like I said, and I watched all of them that were nominated, except for 2, and that is The Favorite and Green Book. I didn't watch either of those because, frankly, they looked boring to me. And Green Book won. I'm like, I can't even.
Yeah, and like the Favorite was fucking weird as shit. You didn't miss anything on that one.
Okay, that's good.
Like, and I didn't even watch all of it. I just got a little snippet of it, and then my mom had seen it, and she described the rest of it, and I was like, she has relatively similar opinions of movies that I do, so I tend to trust her opinion on it. She hated it. She thought it was weird and kind of goofy. Like, not goofy, but like just non-serious. It was like, what the fuck is this? I like that actress, the main actress in that, won an Oscar for her performance, and I actually just like her. She's a hilarious comedian. I can't remember her name right now, but she definitely deserves an award of some form. So that I'm at least glad that happened. But beyond that, yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Which is good, and I want to be done with it because shit, like The Green Book, maybe it's a great film, and I definitely was judging a book by its cover by not watching it, but it looked boring, so I wasn't going to watch it. But then other things like Out of Africa and The Artist and The Departed, which we've brought up multiple times, have all won Best Picture, and they're either bad or boring or both.
Yeah, or just sucking off Hollywood.
Yeah, they're just pure Hollywood bit, which, yeah, that's The Artist to a T. But then there's other moments when you're, like, completely done and fed up, and there's just the smallest glimmer of light peeking through a crack in the wall, the barrier that you've built up yourself, like last year, when Shape of Water I don't think is a perfect movie, but it won Best Picture, which I could not have seen happening in a million years. I would have never predicted that.
Oh yeah, I was shocked when I heard it. I was like, oh my god, but I was really happy.
Oh, me too. And I watched it after the fact and reported back on the show that I really liked it. But
Yeah.
I don't know, are those little glimpses enough to keep me invested? Slash force me to watch a 3 hour, which is very lenient, but a 3 hour program
It's a
that's
3 hour
just sucking
it's a three
itself
hour
off?
program with maybe 45 minutes of actual content.
Yeah. I
Like I
if they
really
had more fun, I guess maybe I would.
Yeah. Like I really wish either have more fun or have more reverence for the art. Like cuz it seems like they're somewhere in the middle where they're having like, oh, these big song and dance numbers and everything where it's like you don't really give a shit about this, do you? Like if they're having fun with it where it's just like a casual party where it's a bunch of movie people being like, "Hey, we're here voting for our friends." It's like we're here voting for our friends and being genuinely lighthearted about the situation. That'd be awesome. Just go up, have a drink, wear casual attire, just have fun with the whole thing. Or just cut out all of the song and dance routines. Maybe have like a little ceremony. If there's like have a special get like I know like one year they had the original singer for like the year that Skyfall came out, the James Bond movie. They had the original singer of the Goldfinger theme song come on to sing Goldfinger, and it was incredible. It was one of the coolest experiences I like. That was one of those glimmers of moments of watching the show of like, oh my god, this is the original singer of one of my favorite movies of all time. It's so cool.
That's
And
cool. They just need to do more stuff like that, or have people. What is a star from like the '70s that hasn't been in something much? Have him up to present an award, or do like a retrospection on someone's career. I don't know. Any of those things could be interesting, at least.
yeah, like have someone come up and have some genuine decent, good things to say about how movies have changed, how movies are, how good things are going for right now. Because, like, I still think movies are among, like, the good movies we get nowadays are definitely on par with good movies we've gotten back in the day. Like, I think that's the big thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, yeah, movies are as good as they ever have been. Like, there's a lot more of them, but I also think that there were plenty of movies back then that we just don't remember. So, it's just there's so many good things coming out, and I wish there were just more things with people going up and being like, this is the state of things. This is the state of the industry we're in, and it's good. It's basically a state of the union for movies. But it's just
Yeah, and
like if someone had some genuine reverence for the situation, I'd be delighted.
yeah, and I think if they enjoyed the medium more, then they would get that message across better. Just because it shows how much they enjoy. They should enjoy what they're doing, what they're
Yeah,
working with. Even if they're voting for their friends, those people aren't my friends. What do I care about that? Like,
yeah,
show me a good time. Like Aquafina and John Mulaney, I don't remember what they were presenting, but that was probably the highlight of the Oscars for me because it
yeah.
was funny.
They're delightful. Eh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Did you see anything from the Game Awards this year? It was just
Not a
like
bit.
last week.
I, 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 I looked up some of the trailers that popped up during it, but that's about it.
It was so incredibly boring and dull, and I
Yeah,
didn't care about anything that won.
it is every year. Like I think this year has not been great for games. Like I think that's a big one because like the problem with it is that a lot of studios are gearing up for the next console generation for some fucking reason. Because as the trend goes, Nintendo released a new system, and the other guys have to play catch up now. Um, so those both Xbox and PlayStation are gearing up for their next iteration. So I don't think they've been really putting a lot of effort into the actual games, or at the very least, other people just haven't been wholly doing a whole lot of stuff. So there's really nothing this year that I was. If I even watched the Game Awards in the first place, I wouldn't have been huge for this year anyway.
Well,
But I
yeah,
know that
I mean,
every year it's just boring because like games are such a more subjective art medium in my opinion because like you have to play them and everyone plays a game differently. So it's like doing an entire awards show for it that's even more self-suck than the fucking Oscars these days.
well, yeah, but the reason I brought it up is because I watch at least fragments of it every year, and every year it is really boring and dull. But there's always one thing that isn't just good compared to the rest of it, but it's just good in general, which keeps me invested because I'm like, what's that breakout thing gonna be this year? And this year they had like a 4-minute skit with Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker from the Muppets.
Oh,
and
yeah, I saw snippets
great.
of that, yeah.
That was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. It's what the Oscars should be doing. Have the Muppets up there.
Yeah.
Just have them host the whole thing.
Then have Reggie Fils-Aimé come out. Like, I'd love to see him, announce an Oscar winner.
I mean, yeah, what's he doing? His body's always ready. He can get
Hell
up there and bust a move.
He's chilling out in retirement and everything. Or, well, maybe not retirement, but at least, post Nintendo of America-ness.
Like, yeah, whatever he wants to be doing. Get out there.
Yeah.
Bust a move.
I loved that. I like the one that I sent to the group chat, but the fucking streamer Ninja had come up as well, which I'm like, is he still relevant? I don't know. It feels like streamers come and go. But
he was so relevant that he had a huge ass New Year's party last year.
Yeah. I mean,
remember
like that was last year, buddy. Fucking by video game and internet standards, last year may as well have been 3 decades ago. Yeah, that's the Moore's law. That's the Moore's law again.
It depends on your audience, I think.
Yeah, which like
there's
when you're
always
a streamer,
more little kids.
I'm sure when you're a streamer whose distinct art form, and I'll call it an art form because that's what it is. It's a creative endeavor. I can't say I enjoy it, but it is an art form. But his distinct art form is appealing to younger kids, a lot of which probably have some degree of ADD. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna get forgotten pretty quick.
I just remember him hosting that New Year's party, and there was a clip where he was just in this balcony above this huge crowd of, like, literally thousands of people, and he started flossing, and just everyone stared at him.
True. Who is the king? Who is the fool?
Perhaps they are one and the same.
Oh, God, it's lovely.
But, where are the emperor's clothes, they say.
That's a good point, yeah. But I was going to say that I had posted to the group chat a little meme. Like, you've seen that meme of, like, the Virgin versus the Chad kind of thing, where it's, like, the really bad drawings of, like, the Virgin does, like, some lame thing, or what's considered lame. The Chad does, like, all these big-time things, which is originally started to be, like, oh, the Virgin is the downtrodden guy and the Chad's, like, the bully type character, but now has morphed into the Virgin is a genuine nerd who is all self-sullen and everything, but isn't actually that great, and the Chad is like someone actually taking effort into his life, and it did it the Virgin Ninja and the Chad Reggie. It's like, and talked about all the different things where it's like Ninja, it's like has a crap career and all these different things, but then Reggie's like body is always ready, had a genuine career before he was a gamer and that sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I like this.
That's a very R incels post you have there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I guess those are our thoughts on award shows.
Yeah. Virgins and the Chads. The Virgin Game Awards and the Chad Oscars.
Unless something really immense happens, like someone dying on stage at the next Oscars, we're probably just going to go on mentioning it in passing, because
please, Woody Allen. Please, Woody Allen.
I don't know if that could happen, because I don't know why he would be there.
I mean, didn't he? I think he had a movie this past year.
No, I meant that, like, I think the scales in Hollywood are tipped against him. He has lots of famous friends still that vouch for him, don't get me wrong, but I think it's maybe 53% against.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would be allowed there.
I mean, like, worse people have been allowed up on the stage, I think. So, who knows?
Ooh, Billy Crystal?
It's Christmas list 2020. Dead Woody Allen.
That's my New Year's resolution.
Yeah, New Year's resolution, live longer than Woody Allen.
Hopefully it will happen.
The pedophilic prick.
Okay, so do you want to talk about some things coming out next year?
I would love to. Let's lighten
dive
it back
into a
up a bit,
list.
because my God, have we darkened it down a little?
Let's look at a list. Okay, so I mean, I looked at this a little bit earlier. We got a fair amount of remakes coming out next year that I actually hadn't heard of.
Yeah.
The Grudge.
I saw the trailer came out not too long ago for that one.
There's a new Doctor Dolittle film with Robert Downey Jr., I guess.
And it's got like that whole like new age whimsical thing going on where it's like all they're talking in this like urgent whisper throughout the fucking trailer and everything. It's like I'm getting really tired of.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus thing. I was like, I am not going to watch the movie then because I'll have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea what that movie even is, so...
It's a nightmare is what it is.
It sounds like it. The fucking title is a nightmare on its own.
I think that was the last movie Heath Ledger did before he died.
Oh, okay. I think I know the one you're talking about then.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just on this fucking first... I just have it opened up on Google. Just on this first little part of the list, there's one, there's technically 2, 3 remakes right there. It's like, fuck.
Oh, what are they? And is one of them Mulan?
The first one is Mulan.
Of course.
The second one is the new Top Gear movie, Top Gear Maverick, which...
Top Gun. I was like,
it's the Top Gear. Top
movie?
Gear, sorry. Yeah, Top Gun Maverick, which I'm hesitantly looking forward to. I don't think it'll be bad.
The trailer looks cool.
I don't think Tom Cruise, for as weird as the guy is, he makes a good movie. I'll give him that.
Yeah. I like Cocktail.
Yeah, there's that one, and then there's Bad Boys 3, which is like, okay, I guess. Which that one might not actually be within the 15-year point, would it?
Ooh, I actually don't know.
Yeah, that one might just skirt by.
Let me look that up. Bad Boys 2 came out in 2003, so actually it will, just barely. It'll be in our range.
Yeah, well, there we go.
We could do an episode on Bad Boys.
Yeah, and right after that one, fucking technically Ghostbusters 3.
Right, the movie that has been in development hell.
Which, like, it's Ghostbusters Afterlife, so it's like, it's sort of a reboot, but, like, not a direct sequel. Like, it's in the same universe as the original, too.
Right. Well, they're outright ignoring the 2016 one, because I remember when Ivan Reitman's son, who's directing it, he announced that they were going to be ignoring that canon. Leslie Jones got very angry on Twitter.
I mean, fair enough, yeah. I mean, like, I feel for her, but at the same time, like, I can't blame the guy. Like, that movie needed better. It needed better writing. It needed better a lot of things. The acting was fine, but my God, the script was shit.
It depends. Like, Kate McKinnon, I don't know who was directing her. Well, I mean, I do know. But I don't know why her acting was so
I mean, that's
horrible.
Just her in general, I think.
But I've seen her in other stuff, and she's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just that character, just the obnoxious character, didn't sit well with me.
Yeah. Yeah, should we... Ooh, this is also another one that's coming out. Should this be counted as a remake? Godzilla versus King Kong.
Technically it could, because there is a pre-existing Godzilla versus King Kong from, I think, the 60s.
Yeah, it definitely exists. But this is also part of a series that's been going on, which, like, we could still do Godzilla just in general.
Ooh, I hit the nail on the head. Godzilla vs. King Kong came out in 1962, so it was, in fact, the 60s.
So yeah, that's another one.
Oh, yes. Is it the same Godzilla as the one from recent films?
It is, yes. They're all within that universe, yeah.
Okay. It gets a little trickier then. We'll have to think about that.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch to go off of. I think with that one...
Exactly.
I think we can just... Okay, because you know what I think it is? They wanted to make this movie. They wanted to make this remake of a movie, but they had already set up a new Godzilla, and they decided, you know what, let's make a universe out of this, because everything's got to have a fucking universe now.
Yeah, thanks,
And
Marvel.
so, I think Godzilla vs. King Kong was something that had been in the works for a long time, but only now is having the excuse. So I say, fuck the other movies that are in that universe. We can just do that one.
If they bring up Muto, we'll have to be like, this was a character for... If you didn't watch 2014's Godzilla...
Then eat shit, just watch the big monsters fight each other.
And die.
If you honestly give a shit that bad about these, like, extended canons, I invite you to get a life. Like, my god.
There's also going to be a Gretel and Hansel. Can we consider that to be a sequel to Hansel and Gretel Witch Slayers or Witch Hunters?
I don't know. I think it would have to... I don't know. Like, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
That movie was crazy. Did you ever watch that?
I watched, like, snippets of it. It was something.
It was... I remember Hansel had, like, diabetes, and there would be, in the middle of action scenes, this really intense, like, dun-dun, and he would start sweating, and he'd have to pull out an insulin needle and jab himself with it.
Yeah, which I think is interesting, at least, because, like, in the original fucking story, that's actually how it kind of went down. Like, Gretel was kind of spared the worst of it. Like, well, no, I should say, Gretel was the one required to basically work and everything, but
while
then
her brother ate. Yeah,
exactly. So, like, that's interesting, at least. But
it's a weird choice because it slows down fight scenes. But anyways,
yeah. There's also going to be the next Halloween movie. Apparently, it's called Halloween Kills.
Oh yes,
which is a stupid fucking title.
I think so too, but I think J.K. Simmons. What am I talking about? I think, what is her name? Why can I not remember it now?
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Thank you. I thought of J.K. Simmons and immediately lost her name.
Yeah.
But I saw her post on Twitter too, and I think that's supposed to be the last one. Obviously, with a franchise like that pulls in money, it's never the last one, but that might be the last one with her in it.
Yeah, I mean, like, fair enough.
Ending that storyline, which is good, because, I mean, they technically ended it after the second movie, but...
Yeah. God, and there's gonna be... man...
Oh well.
I think, like, I'm looking through these, just trying to see what other things, like, could be construed as remakes. I know, like, they have listed the next Bill and Ted is supposed to happen next year. Like,
oh yeah, was it Bill and Ted Face the Music?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that's definitely one too.
Oh, are they still fucking doing that? Okay, apparently The Invisible Man is still a thing.
I didn't know they were remaking The Invisible Man. Are you serious?
Like, there had been talks about it, because they were trying to... Remember when the new Mummy came out and they were trying to do that Dark Universe bullshit? Like, they had been talking about The Invisible Man going in with that, but then since the Mummy bombed so freaking hard, I thought it just kind of all shriveled up.
No, I don't remember any of that.
I think it's supposed to be Johnny Depp playing The Invisible Man.
It is.
Yeah, which, like, that sucks, because Johnny Depp's kind of a piece of shit, but still.
And a remake of the 1933 film adaptation. Oh, wow. We'll have to... Oh, my God. We will have to do that one, because I love Claude Rains, and I can't wait to talk about The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, I cannot imagine it's good. I hope it's going to be better quality than The Mummy was, but I have not much confidence.
I have no hope.
Yeah, no. So there's that. There's the new Scooby-Doo movie, which I don't think I'll count that as a remake, because that's just been a thing.
Yeah,
like, it could be a remake, technically, but I don't care enough.
Can we please stop? I don't know. Okay, maybe the movie's good. I always give these things the benefit of the doubt because I haven't seen them. But can we stop giving animated movies trailers that are absolute dog shit?
Yeah, that's a
Just
pretty
horrible.
distinct trend.
And you got the record scratches, and you got the white text that slams down in word art font on a black background. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Try a little harder, please. For everyone's sake.
Everyone's sake, especially ours. There's gonna be another West Side Story? What the fuck?
I saw that. I
Oh
thought
my
that was
god, what the
hilarious.
hell, Hollywood? Give
How
us a
many
break!
how many times does an Oscar winner get remade?
I don't know. How many times does Shakespeare get remade?
I mean, true. Okay, let's rephrase that. How many times has a Best Picture winner been remade?
That's a good point. Also, and this one is probably the biggest loop that I could have expected, but I wouldn't have. I did not expect this, I should say. Coming to America. Coming to America, but instead of 2, it's the number 2.
Is Eddie Murphy gonna be in it?
It looks like it. There's no poster for it, but it's got Eddie Murphy and another guy standing next to them. Like, I guess it's just some... Like, they just have a photo of them. I guess it's like some film premiere. But, yeah, them standing next to each other, that's apparently a thing.
The only reason that I know that Eddie Murphy is still alive is because a couple months ago, or maybe it's just 1 month ago, that Netflix film came out, Dolomite Is My Name. About the creator of Dolomite, and Eddie Murphy is in it. But he has literally done nothing, which is fine. I mean...
I feel like he can ride it out a little.
Yeah, Rick Moranis hasn't been doing anything, and he doesn't have Eddie Murphy money, so, I mean, I know you can do it, but it's weird that all of a sudden these projects with Eddie Murphy are coming out, because, like, a year ago, if you had told me he died, I would have been like, oh, that sucks. Was it last year, or, 2 years ago? I would not have been able to tell you.
Yeah.
God, well.
A lot of shit coming out next year. Like, I'm looking through these, and I've given a lot of shit to all the remakes that are coming out, but there are a few that I'm actually genuinely excited for. And since I've been just bringing them up left and right, I'll let you have a chance. What are you looking forward to next year?
So Sonic the Hedgehog is coming out on Valentine's Day, and I still think that we need to see that.
I will come out to St. Louis if provided weather is decent and my car is not breaking down. I will come see it. Come to St. Louis to come see it, because I am, no joke, with the new redesign, which there's actually been some shit about that recently, but I'll get into that here in a second. With the new redesign, I am unironically excited for it.
I say the weekend of the 14th. We should see that.
Yeah,
get together and watch it.
I'm totally down for that. But yeah, but it does though suck apparently, because the animation studio that apparently was the head of doing the redesign, they were so overworked and basically so underfunded with it that they apparently shuttered their doors just recently now. So it's like, oh,
I saw that, but then I saw another story that said it didn't shut down, and that they just reallocated resources, which I guess means there were multiple companies and they funneled it away from that one into another place, or maybe just the workers were redistributed among some. I don't really know how that corporate structure works, but
yeah. Also, on that note, real quick, sidebar, back to the Game Awards. Did you see that bullshit with the Wolf Among Us 2?
No. What was...
There's gonna be remember that one? It was a Telltale Games thing.
Yeah, I remember the game.
There's gonna be a sequel now, and it's apparently branding itself under the Telltale logo. And so, and apparently a bunch of the Telltale people are like, what the fuck? Old people who got laid off without benefits were like, what the fuck is this? They literally took the people at the head of that company took the shit that they stole from everybody and basically just turned it right back around. Because apparently at first they did just rebrand or something, under or reallocate resources, but now they're doing it the old logo again. And all the old Telltale folks who got fucking fired are like, this is complete horse shit.
That's...
What the fuck?
I want to say that's really suspect. I'm pretty sure Traveler's Tales, if you remember them, they did something similar, but they never came back as we're Traveler's Tales again. They just sort of dissolved into other companies.
Yeah, and a lot of game companies have done that. There have been so many the beauty of the game industry is that it's such a liquid market compared to even I guess movies are kind of similar, but it really is just there's so many people involved that you can kind of just switch back and forth and bring ideas to new companies all over the place.
Right.
and
I
it's
just
doable.
remember Traveler's Tales happening because it was similar to Telltale in that there was controversy behind it and the
Yeah.
studio itself. But besides that,
But yeah, like apparently, and I'm pretty sure that like I can't remember, like, cause I'm pretty sure they really did just have that fucking come out under the not necessarily the Telltale logo, but I think it was a Telltale Games thing. So it's like, what the hell? It's
yeah,
just,
no, I did not see
so they
that.
completely screwed over all these creators, and the fact that Telltale Games was apparently under some serious shady business dealings anyway, like not even necessarily shady, but just dog shit insane, because like they were spending all their money on all these IPs and everything and making pretty crap games. Like they spent money on the fucking Game of Thrones IP. It's like, Jesus Christ. So they ran themselves into the ground, got all these people laid off, and are coming right back around to do it again.
What are you gonna do?
The game industry is like all the things that Hollywood took like decades and decades to do to be as corrupt as they are. The games industry did in maybe 2. They did in 2 decades flat, and went from like cool, genuine ideas to we are actively screwing and getting people nearly killed from our overworking.
That's why I don't want to work in the game industry.
Yeah,
I want to work on games, but not in the game industry.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my little sidebar. We can go back to the movies now. Just like the idea of the other company shuttering and reallocating reminded me of that.
Yeah, I don't know. A Quiet Place is getting a sequel.
I'm very excited for that one. I don't know what the hell they'll do with it, because I think the last one ended on a really good note, but still.
It did. I like the fact that John Krasinski is still directing, even though he killed himself in the first one. So he's not going to be, like, in it. Maybe he's in a flashback. Or maybe he's like a Force ghost. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
That would be very cool. And it
Crossover
might
confirmed.
take me out of it. What? Hold on.
What?
A Quiet Place 2 has Cillian Murphy in it. He wasn't in the first one, was he? I don't think so.
No, he was not. That's interesting.
Whoa. I haven't seen... I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff, but I don't think I've actually seen him in anything since The Dark Knight.
Yeah. You would like
Wow.
Peaky Blinders, I think. It's a longer series and it's a bit convoluted, but it has him as the main character. It's pretty good.
Might I?
Yeah, it's a Netflix series.
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Well, I mean, I know the general gangster...
Yeah.
I know the premise, but...
Yeah, it's thick English/Irish accent gangsters.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so Tom Hardy's in it as well, and he is fucking undecipherable. I recommend subtitles through the entire show, because there are parts where it's like, this makes no fucking sense.
Ooh, okay. I am going to run this by you. I don't know if you have any background with this, but this actively pisses me off and is just confusing. So,
okay.
Stand by for a quick rant.
Okay, well, go right ahead. I mean, that's kind of the point of the show.
So they are taking Fantasy Island, the television series Fantasy Island from the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and they are making it into a horror film.
Huh.
Okay, so...
Okay. I did not watch the original show. I know of it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, so Fantasy Island, basically, there was a man named Mr. Rourke, who was played by Ricardo Montalban, who most remember as Khan from Star Trek, but he's been a ton of other things.
Right.
And Hervé Villachez was Tattoo, who was his diminutive sidekick. He was a little person who always said "deplane, deplane." That's what everyone remembers about the show.
That's where that was from.
Yeah, and each episode was like...
My coworker says that, my super conservative coworker says that right next to me all the time, and I want to punch him in the mouth.
Oh, he loves Hervé, I guess. But, but like, each episode was essentially like, more or less, you can pay money to go to the island, and your wildest fantasy can come true. And it's just like a fantasy adventure series. So, we take that show, we turn it into a 2-hour horror film, remove the little person character. Tattoo is not going to be in the movie, so it's just Mr. Rourke, and people come to the island, and their dreams turn into nightmares. Interesting premise. Why couldn't it be its own thing? Why is it a
Yeah,
Fantasy Island movie?
I was about to say, it's like, this could have very easily have just been its own thing. Like, that would have been a really cool idea, just happen on its own. It could have completely skirted by any of those references. But, yeah, that kind of sucks. I would love to have... Okay, here's an alternative. I'd love to see another series of it with this continued spin. That would be kind of cool. Like, Fantasy Island meets Tales from the Crypt.
That would be cool, yeah. I mean, I would be in for that, especially if that series had come first, like a reimagining or something. But I don't know, it's just weird to take that premise and then there's only two ways this could have come about. They took this TV series, tried to make it into a movie, and decided for whatever reason, whether corporate involvement or their own creativity, to make it a horror film. Or they had this idea, and as they were making it, they're like, hey, this is kind of similar to Fantasy Island, but it's like a horror movie. And so they're like, yeah, it's like a Fantasy Island. And then they took the character of Mr. Rourke, who that's still his name, so you know it's still that character, and they put him in the movie. And now it's a Fantasy Island movie. I don't understand.
The most I can hope for is that it's kind of horror meets dark comedy kind of thing, where it's kind of more like the main characters who are getting axed are kind of dopey more than a genuine horror movie. Because, like, that'd be kind of fun. Like, to see, like, how these elaborate, super selfish fantasies might turn on their heads and get these people killed. Like, that'd be kind of interesting to see. Like, I'm trying to think of a movie that's an example. Like, well, I mean, kind of like some of the Nightmare on Elm Street, some of the later issues that were like, you know, it was interesting and kind of quirky, and it wasn't necessarily all horror. It was creepy, but it was still had kind of a not lighthearted edge, but it was at least not just all like screaming and people genuinely scared for their lives.
Yeah, I'm
like,
still.
Yeah. I think that is the only way this would turn out kind of okay. Otherwise, I do not see good things happening.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around doing this, and
you know what I think it is?
Multiple things, but what?
I think what it is it was a group of people, like kind of the start off of the second option you had, whereas a group of people just making this general island, like, you know, this whole place that has your fantasies come true that turn into nightmares kind of thing. They wanted to get funding, and they brought it forward to like a major film studio, and they're like, we'll accept it, but only if you merge it with like I'm sure the corporate people came up with the idea of, oh, it's like Fantasy Island but with a twist. Whoa. I do not think a genuine filmmaker came up with this idea. I think this was a corporate decision.
I hope not, honestly.
Because, like, it just does not have any basis in, like, filming reality otherwise. Because it's like, who the fuck would come up with this independently without having either A, an excess amount of money and not giving a shit, or B, be coked out of their mind, or C, both.
Yeah. I mean, I also want to know, why was the character of Tattoo removed?
Fucking...
He wasn't...
So little people can't get more jobs. That's probably it.
It's not like he was problematic. He wasn't like a... I mean, he was one of the core characters because he was in every single episode, and he had the catchphrase that the show is remembered for. What is the point of getting rid of him? It's like when they tried to bring back Tales from the Crypt a couple years ago, and they were like, we're going to do this new HBO Tales from the Crypt. There will be no Crypt Keeper, though. And then everyone was like, yeah, I'm not watching that.
Yeah. And, like, you know, and every time they try to remake the Twilight Zone, it has, like, anyone other than Rod Serling as the main character. It's like, I'm sorry,
sorry, Jordan Peele.
Sorry, Jordan Peele. You are not Rod Serling. And also, all the stories you could possibly do are kind of tired and everything, and are not going to have anywhere near the effect the originals had.
Yeah,
we already have Black Mirror for that.
I was about to say, I've been meaning to watch the new series. I've heard good things from people, and I've heard that it isn't like just a Twilight Zone respinning of Black Mirror. But my defense has always been I'm worried to watch it because I'm scared it's just going to be exactly what Black Mirror is, which every episode is technology is bad.
I think I like some parts of Black Mirror. I think because I think a lot of it, like, I think it's kind of basing its premise off of technology, but it's not always necessarily technology is bad. A lot of times it's technology is the driver for certain things, and that it's human decisions that have made bad things of it. But a lot of the time, it is just technology is bad. But some of it's good.
I
Some of
haven't
it's
seen
good.
every episode of Black Mirror, but I have seen a decent amount, and all of them, I think, have whittled down to maybe not technology is bad, but the people using it are bad. But the
Right.
moral of the story always tends to be, look how much happier these people are when they don't have technology to use.
Right.
And that's always how they sort of end.
And
Or
I
at least
think
the ones I've seen.
yeah, and I think a lot of it is that I think some of it's meant to be like, oh, this is what happens when you don't let technology completely rule you. You can still have it, just don't be an asshole
Yeah.
about it.
Which is fair, I just don't need 80 episodes of that.
Right. And I think, but my main point of it is, it has that, and what I was going to go into was that they actually do have the first episode of The Twilight Zone available for free online if you want to check it out. I've seen it.
Ooh,
The premise of it is, it's this stand-up comedian. He's played by Aziz Ansari, which he's a good comedian in general. It's a bit more dramatic, but it's okay. The first episode, it's like the whole premise of it is like I don't want to ruin the premise of it because that's kind of the whole point of the episode, and
That's
doesn't
all right.
do
I'll watch it.
it doesn't do a whole lot with it. It just kind of like the whole idea of this like what are we willing to give up kind of thing. It's but it's really kind of paper thin, It's very literal with its fucking thing where it's like, okay, is that all we're doing with this? I don't know. It's just like I thought it was okay. I could have thought it could have been a lot better. I haven't seen any of the other episodes because I think you have to pay for them in some other service. So I don't know. I'm sure I can find it online someplace, but
you probably can. But
I can't imagine you'll be.
I'll have to see it.
I can't imagine you'll be a huge fan.
I'll still watch it. I'll watch
yeah,
it regardless.
go ahead, obviously, but just saying up front that it is no Ron Serling's original seminal classics.
I do have to say, with this list for films next year, I know you've been jumping around a little bit, probably based on whatever you remember or the list you have, but mine is in chronological order. I have not gotten out of the first 3 months yet.
Yeah, I think that mine I was jumping around just because I was looking for the remakes. So.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even said the ones I want to see, which I have a few, but I'll let you go on with yours.
I mean, I don't know. The SpongeBob movie's coming out. Fast and Furious 9 is coming out. Blah, 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 blah. New Minions movie.
I mean, what can even be said about that?
An origin story for the Steve Carell monster character.
Oh, yeah.
The ethnic golem, whatever his name is.
Ethnic golem. That's a funny phrase.
Yeah, I can't say I'm excited for a lot of these things I'm seeing. Artemis Fowl is something I'm aware of, but I never read, and I guess that's being made into a movie.
Yeah, I had read the first 2 or 3 books. I thought they were fine. I don't think the movie's gonna be any good from what I've seen. It looks kind of dumb. But other than that, that one will probably just fly by pretty unseen, I'm guessing. Because the time for Artemis Fowl was a long time ago. It's not really a relevant thing anymore.
Yeah, it's like I heard rumblings of like a new attempt at an Aragorn book, or not book, but a new Aragorn adaptation. Because
that first one sucked.
Which is why I think they were wanting to do another one. But I was like, you guys had your chance and you've failed. The Guardians of Ga'Hoole failed. We don't need another one of those.
But at the same time, I think that would be doing a disservice to our show for the fact that a lot of this would be a lot better if when people did remakes, they actually went out to do it better rather than just to make money.
That's true. And we haven't been the first people to say it. There have been plenty of other people that have been like, remakes are... The general opinion is that remakes are a good thing, but they're best applied to films that failed in the first place. Like trying to improve on pre-existing ideas rather than taking something that everyone liked and doing it again to try and make more money. So...
There's a Jungle Cruise movie, which at this point I think they're really just they're finding people making jokes and that they're just rolling with it now. Because someone said, like, haha, what if they had a Jungle Cruise movie with The Rock as the main character? Because, like, I'm sure the joke was, oh, The Rock's in everything now. And someone just actually fucking made it.
Here's the thing.
What the fuck?
The Jungle Cruise movie, I only know this because I used to look up list of upcoming Disney films back when I was really into Disney. That Jungle Cruise movie has been in development, I think, or at least in talks, for over a decade.
Huh. I guess Pirates of the Caribbean spurred that one.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean spurred the Haunted Mansion movie, which didn't do phenomenal, but I think it also... And I think that's might be why Jungle Cruise got put on hold. It's because, Haunted Mansion didn't do well.
Let's just keep making Pirates movies.
Yeah, let's keep capitalizing on that success. Wonder Woman 1984, which could be good. I was a fan of the first Wonder Woman. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
That's a stupid as shit name for a movie, though. I don't care what year it takes place in.
Because, like, that's the whole thing. That's the whole fucking thing of it all. Which, like, what's the thing that spurred this entire show? Nostalgia for the fucking 80s. It's like, can we maybe move on?
Well, Wonder Woman 1984, to me, implies, like, some sort of Wonder Woman Orwellian plot. Not just a film that is Wonder Woman in 1984.
Yeah, and I've seen the trailer. I don't think it's going to be an Orwellian plot.
I saw cheetahs in it, so unless she is going to be Big Sister or whatever.
And Pedro Pascal playing a suspiciously white-looking character, which is interesting. Which, like, I mean, power to him, but I'm just like, are you alright, man? How long were you in the Mandalorian costume? You getting out in the sun enough?
There's going to be a new Candyman, and interestingly enough, it's not a remake, it's an overdue sequel.
Oh, shit.
It's going to be a sequel to the one from the 90s? Early 2000s? Whenever that 90s. First one... Yeah, I don't remember when the first one came out. I don't even think I've seen the whole thing, but
yeah,
that is interesting.
I'm not really looking forward to this new Onward thing that Pixar's... Not Pixar. Well, it might be Pixar. I don't know. But the thing where it's like, oh, it's the magical creatures if they were in... If they actually modernized and everything.
They're trying to bring their dad back.
Yeah, like, I did not think that was...
For that.
I did not think that was going to be the plot. I was like, okay. I can't say I'm disappointed that it's different than what I expected, but at the same time, still not great. Because, like, the whole thing is just going to be built off of, like, fish out of water jokes, where it's like, what if all these things that we have as, like, mundane things happening in our world were in theirs, but, like, with a weird twist. Like, instead of raccoons in your trash, it's unicorns. Whoa! Which, like...
Ooh.
Which, like, I'm just like, fucking, is this really where we are? Like, Pixar, is this really where we're at?
Speaking of Pixar, though, did you see the trailer for Soul?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. That looked really cool until...
yeah.
Until death. Because
until...
then he's in, like, an Inside-Out-esque blob, and I was like, no, what are they doing? That looked really cool.
And that's a whole nother fucking can of worms, because, like, that's been the whole big thing that it's been a trend that people are noticing more and more. Whenever it's a movie where the central character tends to be a person of color, they end up in some way not being a person of color.
Oh, like, I got tricked months ago with that Spies in Disguise.
Yeah, trailer. Exactly. That's another big one that happened. Where it's like, you can't have a black character on screen. They have to be a silly animal, whoa, or like a nondescript blob. Where it's like, what the fuck? I want to see this. This is a different cultural icon. I want this. I want to see something from a different perspective.
And
God,
it was
so annoying.
It was weird because I was watching it and it's like there's this one character, he dies. So he's in this state, he doesn't want to be there, and he wants to get out. And he befriends a character that has been in this program for like a million years or whatever, and is jaded to everything, and is... I'm just reading this and looking at this, and it's not like it's a wholly original concept anyways, but the Emoji Movie just did this.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be doing something that the Emoji Movie just did, like having a premise that fits it so
like
snugly.
Like, ideally, it should be a baseline of the Emoji Movie should be on one end, and on the other end is, at the exact opposite end, is good films. At all times, you should aspire to be as little like the Emoji Movie as possible.
Pixar, you should be as far away from anything relating to the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, it's just
Don't even hire Patrick Stewart. He dug his grave.
And I would have loved if in this movie, I'm fine with if they the character dies and becomes this soul, but I would have loved if the design and everything was something cool and expressive that was actually reflecting soul music, which is kind of the point of where the title comes from. Where it's like, imagine if they had died and the afterlife is just like all these different cultures' interpretations of like how the afterlife, or not necessarily the afterlife looks, but how the soul looks and feels. Like, imagine it like basically a Fantasia-esque thing where there are these entire subgroups where everything looks different. It's these huge mosaics of like more African American artistic, trends and everything. It's just, that'd be so cool to look at. But no, we just have to have nondescript fucking blob again. Because why? Just because fucking god damn it.
I can't wait to watch that movie and have there be a reveal for what the jaded character was before, because that's also a constant.
Yeah, what they were before, and like how we get to learn like, oh, they had such a sad life, or like things were actually happy but they got taken away from them. Oh, I'm so sad. It's like, fucking Jesus. My God almighty. Like, we got like it's a combination of Inside Out and the Emoji Movie. It's like, god damn it.
Just
little bit of the Lego Movie sprinkled in. It's just God.
Ugh.
I was so looking forward to that because I first started watching the trailer and it has like these really cool it was stylistic characters who are still like real life real humans, but they were stylized and everything. They looked like African art caricature kind of things. It was like, oh, cool, that still looks awesome. Then they fucking make it as bland as possible. I wanted to die. I was just like, God, it could have been so good.
Well, I am almost through my list.
Yeah.
Was there any?
After.
Oh, okay. So I'll just bring up a couple more things. I don't have any strong thoughts on the Monster Hunter movie. I think that what they've shown so far looks cool, but I can't say that I'm excited for it.
Wait,
I've played the Monster Hunter.
I haven't seen that one.
You didn't see any of the screenshots? Oh, wow.
No, I don't think I have. I haven't even heard of that one.
Oh, yeah, there's a Monster Hunter movie. Mila
what's
Jovovich
Monster
is
Hunter?
in
I don't know
it.
what that is.
The game franchise? That's been going since, like, the PS2?
Monster Hunter? Oh! That thing. I was thinking kind of like horror movie-esque level thing.
Oh, no.
You mean the JRPG shit. Yeah, that thing.
yes, that game franchise that is now getting its own movie.
Yeah, I did not know it was getting its own movie.
Yeah, all I can hope is that they have the little cats in it, and that they're CGI cats.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. I want to see them cooking food. Obviously, this is very Monster Hunter World pull, but, I mean, This franchise has been running for forever, and that's the only one I've actually played. So, I missed all the others when they came out.
I've never been into it.
There's a prequel film to Kingsman coming out called The King's Man.
That one I'm actually really excited for.
It's cool that it's a prequel setting and there's war and Ray Fiennes is in it, so it looks all right. The second one left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Exactly. Like that's the exact reason why I'm excited for it, because like this actually looks like a perfect setting for this whole deal, because they play up the whole like, oh, it's a spy agency with all this uber technology and everything that just kind of gets to the point where it's nauseating. Where it's like they have all this extra shit. I'm like, okay, we get it. We have all these different technology things. Now they're taking it back to a point where the cool, like, secret spies thing was feasible and, like, looked really cool. And you actually had, like, believable stakes at a certain point. And plus the effects and everything, at least from the trailer that I've seen, don't look ridiculously overdone like the other movies have done. Like, the first one had the benefit of they just went over the top with shit, and so it was acceptable. The second one, it not so much. It was just kind of silly looking at a certain point. But now this one, it actually looks like it's much more restrained because it's, meant to be kind of a lower, not necessarily a lower stakes thing, but it's meant to be a more realistic situation. So I'm excited for that because it actually is kind of refining itself down to in a good way. Like, the cinematography looks better, the shots, the action seems more in focus rather than that kind of weird shoddy cutting thing they have to kind of make it look like one continuous shot, which I hate as a filmmaking technique.
Right.
Like, either do a one shot or don't. Like, just move on.
Well,
one shots are not that amazing.
That is a better way to look at it. Though I will say, if any character in that prequel movie, when I watch it, is in a bar and locks a door and starts fighting people, I'm going to scream.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that 3 times now throughout the course of 2 movies, and I am done with it. Well, yeah. 3 times, and then a 4th time that was like a little sneak peek of a possibility of one. And I am so done. No more.
Like, if they do it, I want it to be, like, a very subtle thing. Like, I don't want them to have, like, this silly, like, manners maketh man sort of shit. I just want them to lock a door and then beat up some Germans. And then that's that.
Yeah, or I want them to start doing it and they get clubbed over the head and then they wake up in, like, turn it on its head.
Yeah, or at the very least make it, like, a realistic bar fight. Like, don't make it like this whole thing of, oh, this dude's just like a superhero, basically. It's like, no, have a genuine brawl between several characters.
Yeah. That would be for the best.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that one I'm actually really excited for.
I haven't heard anything about that. When it was announced, I did, but I haven't heard anything since then. The Witches, which is based on the book by Roald Dahl.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about that for a second. I was like a sequel to The Witch, like that.
No,
or the Vavitch, as I like to call it, and everyone likes to call it.
Yeah, as I also call it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be based on the Roald Dahl book. Roald Dahl, of course, for people who don't know, who did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, stuff like that.
BFG.
Yeah, the BFG, which got its own movie that underperformed. But anyways,
yeah.
So The Witches is just like this young boy discovers a secret meeting of witches and whatever, and then the story moves on from there. But listen to the names of the people involved in this. I didn't know that this had so many illustrious people with it.
I mean, just keep in mind, that doesn't always necessarily mean it'll be great.
No, of course not. But, I mean, look at things like Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, or Rat Race, I don't know. Robert Zemeckis, Kenya Barris, Guillermo del Toro, Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, Stanley Tucci, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock?
And those are just the people that jump out immediately.
Okie dokie. See, okay. This is another trend of Hollywood that I'm really realizing more and more. It feels like the more big names you have, the less it's gonna be. Like, it just, every single time I see that, it literally just is, someone got all these people together so that when someone reads a poster, they just have a bunch of recognition moments, and they just spend money on the movie. That's literally, I think, all it is gonna end up being.
Probably, but...
Because, like, all the best movies that I've seen have always been, at least recently, have been filled with, if not underknown actors, it's actors at the very least who haven't been in as much stuff lately. Like, Knives Out, that's a whole big cast. There's a whole huge cast. It's got fucking Daniel Craig. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis. It's got Michael Shannon. It's got Chris Evans.
Yeah.
But they're all doing different things than they usually do. And in a lot of cases, they're characters that, or actors that haven't been in as much stuff lately. Or they're just older now and they just haven't done as many different things. So they're basically just different actors at this point. So that actually has some credence to it. But when it's just a bunch of big names that have been in a bunch of stuff, I'm just like, alright, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Guillermo del Toro always gives me hope.
Yeah, that's the big one that I'm like, okay, maybe. But also, he was also in Death Stranding, and Death Stranding looks boring as fuck, so...
Yeah. Well, everyone has been praising it, so I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but it does look boring.
Yeah, people like fucking, um, you know, Hideo Kojima stuff too much. I think.
Probably, yeah. They praise it much too much. Where sometimes his stuff is overly convoluted and confusing. We've been talking a lot about video games on this episode about movies.
I think we've been playing more video. I played a lot of video games this year.
I tend to consume media ad nauseum. So before you bring up the things you're really excited for, I have two last things to bring up, and I'll bring them up at the same time because they're kind of the same vein.
Yeah, go ahead.
Clifford the Big Red Dog, the movie, and Tom and Jerry.
Fucking
both
what?
of which are going to be theatrical films in the upcoming next winter.
Okie dokie. I really wish Tom and Jerry would be done now. They had their time. It was years ago.
I think around the time we got to the Chuck Jones shorts where everyone had huge eyelashes, it's like, okay, we need to stop. And then Tom and Jerry Kids happened, and we blew the whistle and yelled, stop!
And then they did like all the other extra movies, one of which is just literally Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reshot, but with them also in it.
Yeah, we're done with
what
Tom
the
and Jerry.
fuck?
But of course, this one's theatrical, so it's probably going to be animated like the Scoob movie that's coming out.
And they're gonna have like backstory and shit. God, kill me.
And Clifford the Big Red Dog, which from what it sounds like is not going to be entirely animated. It's going to be like Hop or Sonic, where Clifford is CGI and then there's a bunch of people running around.
See, that could be fun. That could be cute.
It could. I just don't know what they're going to do with it. What's Clifford going to do? He stomps on a bad guy and it's dead. He's dead, so I mean, that's the end of that. And I'm sure that's how they would handle that.
Probably. It's another horror movie.
We're getting lots of horror movies. So what are you looking forward to? What did you?
Well, I've mentioned a few of them since you've already brought them through, but okay. I'm looking forward to this new Birds of Prey movie that's coming out because just like I like Margot Robbie and I think she's a great Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah, Harley Quinn, Black Canary, and Huntress. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a few others I can't remember them right now.
Well, those are the three from the comics, but I'm sure they've shifted throughout the years.
Yeah, so that I'm pretty excited for, just because I think it's also going to be rated R. I think so. They're actually going to have a bit more fun with it.
Ooh, they'll say swears.
Jared Leto will not be in it. There's going to be moments with like flashbacks with the Joker, but they're going to have a body double standing for him. So it's like, ha. So that I'm excited for. Kind of excited for the new Ghostbusters movie. I'm at least tempted. So there's that. The Quiet Place I mentioned. Kingsman I mentioned. I'm sort of excited for Godzilla vs. King Kong, but hesitantly so. And one that I just found on here, because it didn't have an actual poster and just has like a couple actors put together in like a little frame thing. And so you'd be forgiven for not noticing what it is. Dune.
What?
Fucking Dune. Yeah.
Are we going to be able to do an episode on a David Lynch movie for once?
My friend, I think we are.
I am excited.
It's got that Timothée Chalamet guy as Paul Atreides, or whatever his fucking last name is.
Whatever their stupid names are.
It's got Zendaya, whatever. Rebecca Ferguson, Jason Momoa, Oscar Isaac. Holy shit.
Oh my god, Oscar Isaac.
That's a decent
Dave
cast.
Bautista! Yay!
But yeah, that's a thing that's happening, and I'm kind of excited for, because it's Dune, for fuck's sake. But at the same time scared, because it's Dune, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And also Timothée Chalamet, I do not understand the appeal of him. He looks like a little dweeb.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that's happening. There's another Ryan Reynolds movie coming out called Free Guy, which I'm tentatively excited for. I think I'm starting to get a little tired of Ryan Reynolds because he's kind of doing the same shtick over and over, more or less.
He hit Deadpool money and he's like,
"All right,
buddy boy, I got it made."
And so, like, I'm kind of excited for this one though because it's meant to be a playoff of like video games and stuff, but at the same time, I know it's going to be like the most milquetoast playoff of like online video games and everything, where it's going to be like basically not actually like them at all, because like it really is just the impression of, a 30 or 40 something year old, their impression of what video games are like, kind of thing.
Yeah, which
And so it's like,
tends to be what those are.
so that's the most I can imagine that's happening with it.
So what is this called?
Free guy, because it's
Oh,
meant to be
wow.
like a free guy. So it's meant to be like, like a free life, like a new guy. That
Oh,
sort of thing.
there it is. I literally went through this entire list like 3 times, and I'm like, I'm not seeing this movie, but I
Yeah.
must have just been passing it up.
So yeah, that's a thing. I'm tentatively excited about that one, but I don't think I'll really give a shit.
We'll see
But
what happens.
but one thing that I'm actually really excited for, because it's A, seems wholly original, and B, seems just really interesting. It's a thriller horror called Underwater. It's got Kristen Stewart and a few other characters where there's this deep water research facility that gets like attacked by some sea monster or something. That one actually looks pretty interesting. It looks like a good thriller.
Underwater, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a trailer of it out, I believe, but like, it definitely looks like one of those ones that's small release, decent, like good actors doing just like a more kind of not necessarily lower budget film, but not like a huge major budget like action thriller thing. Like, it looks like it'll be pretty genuinely good.
Okay.
Um, there's that one. There's another one coming out that's another horror that it's called Antlers, which is meant to be it's yet another excursion into the realm of the Wendigo, which is has become a big thing in
Ooh.
pop culture lately.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
So that I'm kind of excited for. That one looks genuinely kind of creepy, because like I
Just
think
the,
because like they're really gonna get into the whole lore of it, because like it's they're like obviously in the most recent trailer it ends with like a Native American chant. I think it's meant to be like a warning of the Wendigo, or maybe like a ward against it, or that sort of thing. But that is like, so they're
yeah.
actually genuinely going into the deep lore of it, so that's really cool.
It's based on a short story.
Huh. I mean, like, it's based off of a genuine
Well,
folklore thing.
right. Oh,
Which
and Guillermo del Toro is producing it.
Oh, yeah, that was it. That was why I was excited about it. I knew he was involved. I couldn't remember how.
He's
But,
become the center point.
pretty much.
Of...
But yeah, that one I'm excited for. And then a little excited for that there's supposed to be a Venom 2, and potentially it's going to be part of the Marvel Universe now, which, like, that'd be kind of cool to see how it interacts with that. I like Tom Hardy in the last one. But beyond that, not huge high hopes for that one, but that's the most I can ask for.
Yeah. I remember you talking about it when you watched it and how much you actually were surprised you liked it. And I was like, I wish I could watch it, but
Yeah.
Tumblr kind of ruined it for me, so I don't know that I can.
Yeah, that's fair.
But maybe I'll try. I'll get over it at some point.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't incredible, but it was better than a lot of the critics made it out to be. It's just fun. It's just having fun, which I think a lot of superhero movies need to be doing more of.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, when it came out, it was like, ooh, superhero movies might be getting fun. And then it's like they forgot that even happened.
Yep, it promptly went right the fuck back down. And then
Thor
Thor Ragnarok came around. It was like, fuck you. Let's have fun again. And then immediately after that, the fucking Russo brothers were like, hey, all that character development and all the shit he did, fuck off. We want our thing now. We literally gave him his eye back.
What is the point?
I know. That's the fucking...
It was
that's
all
the entire
leading up
thing.
to the California Raisins destroying the galaxy.
Yep. That's the whole thing with that whole universe deal, is that so much of it is just so self-sabotaging, because there's so many writers and so many directors. At a certain point, it's not gonna make any fucking sense. It's like,
Yep.
do you remember did you ever watch the show, like the Machinima show? Well, not Machinima show, but like the show that was itself a Machinima, Red versus Blue. Like, do you remember
No,
that one?
I made a point not to watch it because everyone in middle school was obsessed with it.
Same. Like, my friend Garrett, he would pester on about it all the fucking time, and I hated the fact of that. I ended up watching it later on. Genuinely really funny, but like the thing with it is like the first few seasons, because there's up to like 12 fucking seasons, because they just keep making new ones, because like new Halo games come out. But the thing with it is that early on, they had really silly, kind of simplistic plots and everything, or if they got like extensive and kind of like epic plots, they were like ridiculous. Like there's shit with time travel and alternate universes and that sort of stuff. But then as it went on, they had to kind of retroactively retcon stuff to make stuff make more sense in their invented lore and sciences and everything. And so it started getting kind of convoluted and stupid. That's what the Marvel Universe is. It's started off as basically a middle schooler's wet dream of just having some fun and not giving a shit, and then has had to take these billions and billions of tiny little plot threads and attempt them to turn them into the most uncomfortable sweater. That's really all it is at this point. And every time a new guy comes along, he's just like, I don't like this thread, and they keep snipping at it, and so it's basically just a shawl.
That's pretty apt. It fits.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I'm not excited for any more Marvel movies. I was excited up to the Avengers coming out, and even the Avengers I wasn't super into, because again, everyone and all the friends that I had in high school wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. It's like, every time that year I saw someone name it their movie of the year, I was like, y'all suck. Y'all are boring idiots. Like, there are so many good
So what you're
movies that
saying
came
is
out
you
that
didn't
year.
watch anything else.
What's that? Sorry.
I said, so what you're saying is you didn't watch anything else.
Basically. It's like they kept going on about it. It's like, oh, it's the biggest buildup of a crossover of our time. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, who honestly gives a shit? Like, okay, it's cool. It's cool that they managed to pull this off. But, like, you can chill out a little. Like,
I remember that tweet.
It wasn't that good. It was Joss Whedon writing, for fuck's sake.
I remember that tweet around the time that Endgame came out, and there was someone on Twitter. She basically said, do you guys think it's okay for me to watch Endgame if I've never watched any other movie in the history of cinema? Will I get what's going on?" And,
yeah.
And someone replied to her, not even realizing it was a joke, and she was like, "No, you really have to watch the entirety of the. You're just not gonna get it. You're not gonna understand how deep it is and how many threads are connecting for this event." And she responded, "Is like, dude, it's a joke. It was a joke. Do you not know what humor is?" People like, take this stuff way too seriously.
I saw a really good, and I will say really quick before I say this joke that kind of goes to that point, but that really does speak volumes of the whole thing of everyone's going on of, oh, that like fucking Disney put Endgame up for movie of the year and everything, where it's like, if you can't go into this thing on its own, enjoy it and recognize its artistic value, then you can't, it's not a fucking worthy to be anything near movie of the year. You didn't fucking, like, this is basically just a movie equivalent of a climax. This is all the other movies were foreplay, and this is the finish. You don't call that sex.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the joke I was going to say, to all that degree of people going on about it, to be so serious about it, was on Tumblr, they had a post, someone made a post saying, you know all those people that were obsessed with Harry Potter, and we kept telling them to go read other books? I'm pretty sure they all just went off to go watch Marvel movies.
It fits. I buy it.
Yeah.
That's the new canon.
It's just, I can't.
Except they also never stopped being obsessed with Harry Potter, so they still do that too.
I don't mean to imply that. They still are fucking obsessed with Harry Potter.
We just made it worse.
Yeah. I don't like fandoms. I want this whole thing to die. I want us to be able to be like, here's a thing that I went out to see because it was a weekend and I was with friends and we wanted to go have some drinks. That's it. That's what I want. That to be the beginning and the end of my experience with this movie, beyond like saying, oh, it was really good, it had really cool moments. I don't want it to be this whole fucking thing where it's like talking about for years and years and years and how it's a cinematic masterpiece because like Chris Evans picked up the hammer and shit. It's like, oh no, that cool thing happened that everyone could have fucking predicted. Like, Jesus Christ on a bike.
I remember for like weeks after that movie came out, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark says some stupid shit before he kills himself. Spoiler for Endgame. I guess I can put a little thing there.
Yeah, who gives a shit? We don't care.
You're usually on my ass about stuff like that. But
like, if people honestly at this point don't know what the fuck happened in Endgame, just by its body count of how the fact that they had to re-release it in theaters to get to beat Titanic, Avatar. It's like the fact that they fucking cheated to do it. It's gotten it fucking has its body count. If you don't know what the hell happens in Endgame, I get out from under your rock, okay? Please.
Okay. So, anyways, he says something stupid.
Right
before
at the end,
he dies. I love you something.
Oh, like one of the thing is, like, I've seen the snippets of it. It's like one of the things he has his daughter. Like the whole thing is, like, I love you too, and the daughter says I love you 3,000. Like it's just making it a little joke, like, oh, it's a little kid being cute, and then at the end, after he's dead, he has like this holographic self eulogy where he says I love you 3,000 to his daughter, and it's like meant to be kind of cute, but no one would shut the fuck up about it. It's like it's not just
People
it's a dad loving his kid.
People spun it into conspiracy theories. Did you see people that were talking about it that were like, what he's really doing is he's referencing how many minutes the entirety of the MCU saga is if you were to watch it all? And I was like, there is no way that something that minute would be made a plot point in the movie.
Yeah, it's not even a plot point, it's a throwaway line.
Well, yeah, but all I'm saying is I haven't even seen it, and even I knew that was stupid. But they talked about it for weeks, about like all these conspiracies about what the line meant, and you just, because you've seen it, you just telling me that right now, it just sounds everyone's an idiot that went to the bathroom during that scene. They didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah. And like I say seen it, I've seen the scenes on YouTube. Like I literally just looked it up on YouTube, audience reactions of Endgame, just so I could get the plot points. I'm like, I'm good. Before it even came out, I looked up the leaked plot line and everything, so I could just be like, okay, I know what happens. I don't have to go see it now. So
you know what?
I had zero desire to see it.
It works.
So,
okay.
So yeah, I'm so done with that shit.
The last thing I want to bring up for this movies of next year thing, just because I didn't even see it until now, but I think you buried the lead. The West Side Story remake is going to be directed by Steven Spielberg.
You know, the more and more I hear that as I get even slightly older, the more I'm starting to realize I think Spielberg's had his day. I think we're good now. I don't have huge confidence in this, especially because it's I liked him when he was doing more serious stuff with his more recent stuff. Like I liked Lincoln, I liked Warhorse to a degree, but it seems like he's just kind of trying to fall back on the old nostalgia shit, and that worries me.
How did you feel about his Ready Player One? His take on that?
Well, I wouldn't know, Jacob. I have still been chickening out of that one, as you are apt to remind me. I know I need to see it, but I'm scared, okay?
It's a runner at this point.
I know.
Just continue not seeing it so it can be a runner.
Yeah, like I guess so. But at the same time, I kind of owe it to myself at this point to do it, just to sit through that shit. And I can imagine it's not nearly as bad as I'm worrying it is. I'm sure it's going to be just pretty bland. But still, I hated that fucking book.
I'd say that's the best fit, is that it's bland.
Okay, that's good at least. Because it's such a love-hate relationship, because it's like, love Spielberg, hate Ernest Cline. Armada was okay, but to say I read Ready Player One is the most generous statement of the decade. I got, as I famously said, 10 pages in.
Yep. Nope.
And then promptly wanted to blow my head off, because I'm like, if I hear one more praise of the 80s, I will just end it all.
I should not have read the whole thing, but I did anyways.
You're a stronger man than me.
A stupider one is more like it.
Fair enough.
So do you want to talk about something a little more upbeat?
Sure. I mean, if you've got options, I've really mostly just been trying to think back on the year, and it's just interesting just to kind of see where things have gone and everything, and it's interesting to see how this next year and decade, really, which that still throws me for a loop. Jesus Christ. Um, this next year, I'm hopeful for with the movie industry. There's a lot of good that looks like it's coming out, but at the same time, the remakes are coming thicker and faster than ever, and they're not gonna fucking stop. It's just
Oh, never.
like, I know that's the case with every year. We realize more and more remakes have been a thing since movies have existed, but God, do people make a particular big thing of it now? Which, like, I say that obviously you shouldn't throw stones, but with our show, like, our entire show is that we make a big thing of it. But you know, still, it's just, I feel like at a certain point, do we really genuinely care that much about a new Mulan movie? Like, do we genuinely give a shit that, oh no, it's not a musical, oh no, Shang isn't the enemy in it, so there isn't the whole, like, implication of bisexuality thing? It's like, do we really give that much of a shit? It's Disney. Disney owns so much shit. Why are we still being emotional about this? Can we be emotional about all these other movies that are coming out, all these good new films that have genuine themes and everything and genuine heart behind them, rather than this stupid cash grab? Because that's what it is. This is not, so many of these remakes are just cash. It's without even any slight, implication of anything else. We're not making a new Mulan because it's a big cultural milestone. They're doing it for money.
Yeah, I guess the only reason I care about the Mulan thing is just because it's weird, considering all of Disney's other remakes. I'm wondering what they're thinking. It doesn't bother me, but it is strange.
I think it's just to grab the Chinese market at this point.
That's possible. There's a lot of money over there, and they get angry very quickly.
Yeah. And like, there's been all the controversy because the main actress for Mulan is apparently against the protesters in Hong Kong and everything. So it's like,
oh god,
yeah, no, she supports like the police and everything. Where it's like, okay,
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, that's kind of dark, Also, you mentioned this before the show. We're up to our possibly real Hong Kong listeners.
Shout out to the 2 or 3 people listening in Hong Kong.
Yeah, like, how you guys doing over there? You all right?
Checked our stats before the show. We got like 3 in Hong Kong, like 2 in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, like, word up to to my kinsmen in Scotland, but
word up to the Scots.
Yeah, I mean, my name's Stuart, for fuck's sake. But yeah, like, that's interesting. Like, hey, if you're actual people listening out over there, give us a shout out. Not you're not just like some bot function that was just like searching through the internet for things to like copy voice recordings from or some shit. I don't know what bots do. But
if you are a bot, I also want to hear from you. Send me a message.
Yeah,
hit me up.
Give me some more random robocalls. But yeah, it's just cool to think about. Like, there are people in other countries just chilling out, possibly listening to us. I mean, people in this country just listening to us, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, like, shout out to you guys. Seriously, we're seriously so happy to know that you guys are hanging out, just chilling around. But like, if you just have us in the background or whatever it is you do with your day, just listening to a couple of young guys just complaining about shit like we're 80 years old. That just tickles me just thinking about that.
You know what? Okay. So this next conversation is going to be all for you guys. So I'm going to throw some names out there and tell me what you think. Stu?
Okay.
Okay, well, actually, I am going to do that, but the first 2, I'm just going to come out right and say it. Robert Evans and Danny Aiello both passed away this year.
I can't say I know him personally. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's why I brought them up first. Danny Aiello was in a number of things. He was in one of my favorite films, Jacob's Ladder, which I've talked ad nauseum about on this show. But Danny Aiello was also in The Godfather Part 2, which we just did. We recorded it, and the next day he died.
Oh, wow.
The next day he died. He was... Oh, what is that character's name? I can't remember the name of the character in the movie, but he has the line, Michael Corleone says hello. Like the famous line.
Oh.
Tony something.
Oh, well.
But he, Rosado. So,
Oh, okay.
that was his role in Godfather Part 2. He's been in a number of things, but I thought that was interesting because, like, he died the day after we recorded that episode on The Godfather.
That's dark.
Very. And Robert Evans, of course, died. He was a producer, among which he produced Harold and Maude,
Oh, yeah.
which I've talked about a lot on this. But he also produced... he might have produced the first Godfather, but I'm pretty sure he also produced Godfather Part 2.
Huh.
So, both of those individuals passed away this year.
Well, did he die the day after as well?
No. He died.
Okay. For a second there, I was going to be like, okay, one's a coincidence, two is a pattern.
He died some months ago.
Okay.
Okay, I just got confirmation. He helped to produce Harold and Maude, Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Chinatown, Rosemary's Baby, The Italian Job, among others.
Damn. Quite a lineup.
Yes, that is quite a lineup. That's a lot of stuff.
He was probably very wealthy.
I hope so, man. You do stuff like that, you gotta be wealthy.
Yeah. If
I
you're
mean,
not
you're a
wealthy
producer,
after that, you're
so.
an idiot.
If you're a producer and you don't have a lot of money, you're just stupid. You're a moron.
A producer of fucking the two original Godfathers, for fuck's sake.
So I did post this on the group chat when it happened, because this also happened in the past week, but Carol Spinney died, who has been Big Bird on Sesame Street for literally forever.
Yeah, that's real sad.
Yes, it is. The day he passed away, everyone was sharing that clip of him singing "It's Not Easy Being Green" at Jim Henson's funeral.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't Carol singing, because I don't think he was the voice of Big Bird, but still, that's impactful.
Right.
Peter Fonda passed away in August.
Yeah.
Son of Henry Fonda, brother of Jane Fonda. So that was pretty big.
Yeah.
Also in August was Richard Williams. Animated a lot of stuff, especially for the Pink Panther movies, but most well known for being the animation director on Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that must have been a killer fucking job.
Yeah, oh man.
Because that's some fucking history right there.
The amount of scenes that were cut from that film that I wish that got animated just so we could see more of the movie, is just stunning. The amount of I think
it was a legal landmine, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure among them there was going to be one of the funeral scene, and one of the pallbearers was going to be Popeye, and so they had to scrap it all because they couldn't get Popeye. But just stuff like that, I wish we could see.
The things that could have been.
The things that only exist in our thoughts and minds.
Imagination.
Yes, of course. You went there. I knew you'd go there.
SpongeBob.
So this one also applies to the show. Rutger Hauer passed away July 19th.
Yep. That was a. I forgot that was this year. Holy shit.
I had completely forgotten, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Steven Hillenburg also this year, by coincidence?
Oh, no, that was last year.
Okay, yeah, that was last year. For a second, I was like, that didn't happen this year, too. Was it? Because otherwise, this is a long fucking year.
Oh, no. What a year.
Jesus.
No, yeah, that one was last year. I remember you went into quite a bit about his passing.
Yeah, that was the first. That's been the first big death for me in a while.
Yeah, understandably so. Rip Torn passed.
I vaguely know of him.
He was the director in the Men in Black movies.
He was
the voice of Zeus in Disney's Hercules. Yeah, he's gone now.
Cool.
I was wondering why he wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 3. They have some guy doing his voice, doesn't sound anything like him. But I mean,
Maybe
he
that's
was
why.
around. He was alive at the time. That game came out in February. That
I
was
mean, he may
before
not
he
have
died.
been. He may not have been in peak health anymore. So.
You're right.
I can't imagine once you get older that you're great with voicing.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I was saying it. Artie Johnson died of Laugh-In. He was in some other stuff, I believe, but that's the main thing that I knew. Max Wright died in June. Now, this was a big thing because it's sort of a runner, especially for me, just because I unironically like the show. But Alf is such like a phenomena to me. And Max Wright was the dad on Alf. He was in every single episode. So he passed away. I was like, oh no, that really sucks. I couldn't think of anything that he was in besides Alf, but apparently he was on Cheers, Taxi, Mad About You, and in Stephen King's miniseries The Stand. So,
oh damn. I mean, like it's a Stephen King miniseries. That's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, you don't really want to be in those. You want to be in the Stephen King stuff that Stephen King is not involved with.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of it. I can't find anything else, any other names that died this year that would be that impactful. Oh, Tim Conway.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Tim Conway.
Yeah, I think you posted about him recently.
No, that was a while ago. That was back in May that he passed. But
who was that guy? Oh well, yeah. You talk about this guy, but then you also talked about a guy on the group chat who died recently.
Danny Aiello died in the past week.
Oh yeah.
He's probably the one that I shared.
Yeah, that was it.
But I mean, Tim Conway. He was big on the Carol Burnett show. He was in McHale's Navy. He had his own show called the Tim Conway Show. Most people now know him as the voice of Barnacle Boy on SpongeBob.
Oh yeah.
And when he died, everyone was sharing footage, or not footage, not live feed of heaven, but they were posting photoshops of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy in heaven hugging and whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Oh god, that was so sad. I was like, oh shit.
I remember the event being sad, but they were the equivalent of that Genie, you're finally free thing that was going around when Robin Williams died. I was like,
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I grew up with, SpongeBob. Seeing that, I was just kind of like, oh,
it's
no.
fair.
The passing of time.
It's fair.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, I mean, like, it's sweet in a way. I mean, they were probably pretty... I think they were apparently... The two voice actors were good friends or something.
They might have been. I don't know if they were friends or not, but...
Yeah, I think I remember seeing something about it. I can't remember exactly.
I don't remember where I heard it, but I remember hearing Ernest Borgnine, who voiced Mermaid Man, among a bunch of other things, was notoriously hard to get along with.
Oh, yeah. I think I've heard that, too.
I don't know how true that is, but I have heard that. Doris Day, I just found this. Doris Day passed away this year, which I did not know she passed away.
Oh, yeah.
On this, they list her credits as like Pillow Talk, Calamity Jane, Love Me or Leave Me. They don't really mention the fact that she's in Hitchcock's The Man Who Knew Too Much and sings the definitive version of Que Sera Sera. So, that's a weird thing to leave off of her obituary. But
yeah, that's kind of harsh.
Oh well. And then the last thing that I will mention is Grumpy Cat died.
Oh yeah, fucking our year's Harambe or something. I don't know.
Yep, in the 2020 presidential election, 50,000 people will write in Grumpy Cat.
God, fucking kill me.
If I can, you'll be on next year's obituary show.
Woo! That's all I can ask for.
I'll do a 2-hour just reminiscing of your life, and then I'll cry at the end, and the lights will dim. But no one will be able to see it because it's all audio.
Right. You'll have to give an audio transcript of it.
And I'll have noise in the background. People will be, what is that? And if they rewind it, it'll be you whispering. And I'll cut that in.
It's like, I'm still here, bitches.
Hail Satan.
It's like, hey guys, this is a message from Stuart from hell. It's actually not too bad down here.
From hell.
Most actors actually end up down here, so there's a lot of good movies.
I'm glad they let us make movies down here.
Yeah. Marlon Brando did a live rendition of fucking Godfather. That one was cool.
He played all the parts, which was unnecessary, but...
But heck, it's that one-time experience. I mean, it's not. We can do it for infinite amount of time now, but still.
That is hell.
Woo!
It's my personal hell.
Turns out the Mormons were right.
Oh,
Which I'm pretty sure that's a South Park joke. I apologize.
that might be. It might. Well, so the correct answer was Mormon. Yeah, I think that is a South Park joke. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm all but certain it is. Oh, whatever.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. So that's the end of that. So we are approaching what will be the end of this.
Yeah.
So we already talked about what we're looking forward to next year. Do you have any goals to try and achieve for next year? I definitely did last year, and I kind of fell flat on my face. But
I don't have any. And like, I'm getting more and more introspective, retrospective. I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. You know, like a lot of people go on about it, but I have only recently really thought about it. The fact that it's about to be another fucking decade, you know. I've gone through a lot of my life at this point, and I've just kind of been thinking to myself, it's like, what would I actually think for a goal? And I think my goal isn't going to be anything kind of set in stone. I think I'm really just going to be really getting to the point of unironically liking stuff more, where just so much of the last, God, how much of this, the 20 teens, has been dedicated to this kind of endless obsession over things, like especially in movies and everything, which, like, again, is the entire reason we started this show.
yes,
Just like of nostalgia and remakes and everything. I think a lot of it is really just going to be me kind of trying to go back to my basic roots of loving movies, of just being, I'm going to go watch movies. I'm going to go watch movies at a cool theater. I'm going to go watch movies at like Alamo Drafthouse or something, like, so I can have a drink while I do it. I'm going to do it just for the fun of it, rather than getting annoyed and upset with, like, oh, this adaptation did this adaptation did that. It's like, I'm going to still do this show, and I'm still going to compare cultural differences, but I'm really going to make an effort to realize that life can just be simple, you know? Life can be simple and fun. I think that's the biggest takeaway I've taken, I think, from this decade is that anyone who tells you life, and I guess to a lesser degree movies in our case, anyone who tells you it's complicated is either an idiot or they're just trying to sell you something. Where it's like, they're really not that complex. It's, people are going to try to make money, and they're going to do really dumb things to do it. They're going to pretend to be your friend, and they won't be. And you should just like what you want to like. So long as you're not hurting anybody, or you're not liking something that's... What's that?
I said, or you're liking The Departed, as
Or
you
you're
made
liking
clear
The
at the top of the show.
Because then you're just objectively wrong.
And you're just trying to piss me off.
But, just like, so long as you're not hurting someone, and as long as the stuff you're consuming isn't, like, stuff that's actively meant to be harmful towards something. Like, it's one thing if you like watching old Nazi propaganda because it's a hallmark of history. It's another point saying that you actively enjoy them. Like, that's bad. But, like, that's kind of just what I'm trying to go forward with for next year. It's, I don't want to be obsessed with anything. I don't want to be obsessed with anything other than making my life more enjoyable and easier, and just, like, having fun. That's, I've been too stressed and too annoyed for so fucking long that it's not worth it. I can tell you, it's not worth it. I've lost so much sleep. So that's definitely probably more introspective and deep than I'm sure you were expecting, but that's just kind of how I felt about it, you know?
Well, we're going to start that off right by having a fucking blast when Sonic comes out.
Fuck yes. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be the definer of the decade. It is the little 10-year-old me playing the old Sonic games on the GameCube, being like, it'd be so cool if they made a movie of this. And then the games kept getting worse and worse, and I completely lost interest, and I kind of left that to the wayside. Then the first trailer came out, and I was like, God, childhoods don't exist. And then the second trailer came out with the redesign. I was like, there's hope. I'm actually hopeful now. Because, like, I saw it, and I was like, this is everything my 10-year-old self would have lost his mind over. And I think that's pretty freaking cool that I get to be alive to see it.
That's cool. My 10-year-old self would have been an annoying little pedant at the theater.
Oh, right, exactly.
Like, where's the little checkpoint that goes doo-doo?
Yep. Where's Shadow?
Dude, no. How much money do you want to bet that Shadow is going to be an end credit scene, like a silhouette, or like the president of Gun will be talking to someone over the phone?
No joke, Jacob. I have genuinely thought about that. I have genuinely, unironically thought that's probably what's going to happen. It's either going to be Shadow or it's going to be Robo-Sonic.
Metal Sonic makes a comeback in Sonic 2.
Yeah,
if it's Big the Cat, oh shit.
Oh. No, okay, it's either going to be that or it's going to be, the end credits scene is going to be all of Sonic's other friends from his home planet gearing up to come save him. Like, being like, all of a sudden they'll just all show up on screen being like, we're coming, Sonic. Like, it's going to be one of those two things.
I don't know.
They don't show up at the very end in general.
Yeah, I don't know that they would show all the characters, but either I can see a silhouette of a character, especially Shadow, and doing like a really epic thing with Gun, or I could see like what you said, we gotta go save him, but maybe it's like a gloved hand with a yellow arm coming out of it, holding onto a communicator, and then it cuts to black. So you're like, oh, that's Tails! That was Tails there!
Yeah, so God,
I
really am genuinely kind of giddy thinking about it, because it's like, God, like, and I think that was kind of, when I was in a low point of recent, like not too long ago in life, I kind of thought back, and like I went back up, like I kind of got back kind of on top of things. I thought back on it, and I was like, for as crap as I think things are, I think my 10-year-old self would think I'm really cool right now. And I think that's kind of the big thing that I'm trying to embrace, that, yeah, when I was a kid and I had all these cool aspirations and everything, I've met a lot of them. And he'd think I'm cool as shit. And I get to go see the Sonic movie. My 10-year-old self would love me.
Your 10-year-old self would be really angry he has to wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, but like, if I could go back and tell 10-year-old me, it's like, hey, dude, shit's gonna get weird. You're gonna be confused. You're gonna be really sad. But at the end of the day, you're gonna end up somewhere really cool. You're gonna end up with a good job, and you're gonna go see the fucking Sonic the Hedgehog movie with Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik.
Will kill me right now.
I know. I would lose my shit, man. if 10-year-old me would hear that and be like, whoa, the future sounds awesome.
That future is way past cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, that's kind of the goal going forward, is just like, do it for 10-year-old me. If that's really kind of it. That's like, if anything, because that's the thing, and I think that's something everyone should do, because no 10-year-old is genuinely hateful unless they've got some issues. In which case, maybe not go by that metric, just be a decent person. But otherwise, do it for 10-year-old you. That's kind of the whole point, you know?
Yeah, that's important.
We don't grow out of, interests and loves we had when we were kids. We just force them back down someplace. It's like no one ever grows out of shit. So that's my goal. Doing it for younger me.
That was really beautiful and poignant, and I want to steal it because it's much better than mine was.
Well, now I want to know what yours was.
Last year I tried doing the Best Picture thing, but I didn't follow through hardly at all. I think I watched 2 or 3 out of a million.
I mean, that's fine.
every time I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, that film's really good, but it's like 4 hours long. I don't want to do it. And then I didn't do it. So, and I'm not going to make any apologies for that because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
This year I kind of want to do something that's more in my wheelhouse. Because I like animation. I think above all else, as this show has proven.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a schmuck that is currently paying for Disney Plus, I have easy access to literally every film every Walt Disney animated picture. I mean, they have tons of other stuff. They have the Pixar stuff, and they have weird directed video, Brave Little Toaster shit. But
oh my god, that's on there? I love that movie.
Okay, so I don't want to get into a big side tangent, but no, it's not. They have the two directed. They have the two sequels, Goes to the Rescue and Goes to Mars, but they don't have the first one, and I don't know why.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, the only one with John Lovitz, and it's not on there.
Yes, continue.
They have all of the theatrically released Walt Disney animated pictures on there, except for 3. Tarzan is not on there because of some rights issue, but there is a page for it, and it's coming in July of next year.
Oh,
and Wreck-It Ralph 2 is not on there, but it should be there by the end of 2020, I think they said, so there's also a page for that. The third one, which I'll have to find, which it won't be hard, but I'll just have to watch it somewhere else, Make Mine Music is not available on Disney+, and there's not even a tab for it. If you search for it, it doesn't come up, and I don't know why.
I don't think I've even heard of that one.
It's one of the compilation movies from that they made in like the early 40s. It has The Whale That Sings Opera. It has Peter and the Wolf, which everyone remembers. But it's not on Disney Plus, and they have like Saludos Amigos and the Fun and Fancy Free. They have all the other compilation movies on there, but not Make Mine Music, and I don't know why. But with the exception of those 3, 2 of which will be available at some time next year, they have every single one currently on that streaming service. And I kind of want to go through them in chronological order and just watch them all. Because there's some I haven't seen since I was little. There's some, like The Great Mouse Detective and The Rescuers, that I've just flat out never seen. And I think it'd be fun. So I'm going to try and do that. And I think it'll be way easy for me to get that accomplished because of how much I like animated pictures.
Yeah, I gotta watch some more animated stuff. I gotta watch this. I gotta sit down and watch more movies in general. Like I really slacked off on that this year. Like I watched more TV shows and I played a lot of games just in my spare time. But for the most part, I could have done a lot more.
Yeah, I really should too. And it's not for lack of wanting to. It's like I get home from work and then I play games and then I go to bed. But
yeah.
I'm pretty good at multitasking. I can watch a movie and play a game at the same time. I just have to get the setup right. And that, for me, is what usually turns me off. It's like, I'd rather play a game right now. And I could do both, but I don't want to get the setup. So I just play a game.
Yeah. I think one thing I definitely... And now that I'm finally in a place where, I have an active, good job. I'm in a city that's actually got shit going on. I'm not in the tiny town that I had been in originally. And that, I just have more active resources. I really want to go back to the movie theater, more often. And I talk about there's an Alvo Draft House here in town that I go to a lot, especially with my girlfriend.
Wait, really? You have one?
Yeah,
dude,
we have one.
I'm coming up to... Dude, don't come to St. Louis. I'm coming to see you for Sonic.
Fuck yeah! Yeah, it's kick ass, man. Yeah. But yeah, I wanna now that I'm actually able to do shit and I'm actually in a somewhat stabilized part of my life, which is astounding to think about because it feels like the last 5 to even 10 years have been a state of flux. That now I'm approaching something and I still got a few potential moves later on, but otherwise, I got the time. I can go do it. I just gotta go do it.
Yeah, I want to go to the movie theater more frequently too. In fact, this weekend I don't have time slated out, but I made a decision yesterday. This weekend I want to go see Knives Out. So I'm planning on doing that. It's the only thing I saw in theaters this year was Dumbo, unfortunately. So I need to do more.
I haven't seen a whole lot in the theaters either. I can't remember what, though. I mean, I mentioned a few of them earlier, but beyond that, I can't remember.
I think Dumbo, Into the Spider-Verse, and the Halloween I saw with you were the last three I saw in the theaters in reverse order that way.
Yeah.
So, 3 in over a year. Great.
So, we both need to do it more, I guess.
Yep. Now, who knows what the future will hold?
I'm hopeful. Like, I think there's been a pretty pervasive sense of dread around for a while, which, like, with good reason, I admit. But, you know what? I'm hopeful. I got good shit going on. I think there's a lot more good going on than people realize. And, fuck it. It's the new Roaring 20s, baby. Let's do this shit.
You know what? Yeah, that's the best attitude to have. We're about to go into a new decade. Let's make this new decade the best one it can possibly be.
Let's bring back jazz, motherfuckers. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's bring back Prohibition just so we can go through the excitement of bootlegging.
I know, that'd be so fun.
This is going to be a great decade, I can already tell.
Yeah, I really hope. And I hope this isn't like one of those things like in fucking Pompeii where they'll find people's diaries being like, I think this will be the best day of my life.
They'll bite us in the... I loved listening to that episode from last year, just as quick side tangent, because there's one moment where you're like, oh yeah, that Joker film is coming out. I think that's just a tentative title, though. I can't see them just calling it Joker.
Did I actually say that?
Yeah, not in those exact words, but yes.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's a neat relic.
That's perfect. That kind of sums it up right there.
Alright, but we must hope for the best.
I want to hope for the best. I think that really is, at the end of the day, it's shit I want to. It's like so many people have been obsessed with all this shit that ends up getting so negative. It's like, you know what? If I'm going to be obsessed with anything, it's going to be having a good time. Okay? I want to be happy, damn it.
And no one can bring you happiness but yourself at the end of the day.
Right. I will have a good year, and that is a threat.
Do you hear me?
We're going to be aggressively happy. That is it. I'm done with it. We're leaving this dramatic bullshit behind in this decade.
Stimpy's making our happy helmets as we speak. We will smile the whole year.
Yeah. It's like, we will go to see Sonic, we'll set the decade off right, and we'll have a good fucking time. I'm going to go watch Sonic while drinking a fucking Moscow Mule, and no one can stop me.
Really, is there any other way?
Oh, God. God, that is going to be the perfect fucking cherry on top of my childhood. Just sitting there enjoying a drink, watching the Sonic the motherfucking Hedgehog movie.
Well, I think we've sufficiently hyped ourselves up.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Oh, definitely. I'm in a good mood now.
Yeah, like,
not that I was in a bad one before, but
yeah, I don't want to go into the new year, feeling down. I want to go into the new decade saying, you know what, let's actually make something of this one.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we're both at the age like we can actually do that. We're not old, we're not super young, but we get enough that we can actually do shit about it.
Yeah. I'm a straight white male between the ages of 18 and 40. Everyone cares what I think.
If there were ever a fucking tagline for this show. Oh god, I love this shit.
All right. So I guess I'll cap it off with all the usual stuff. theyremadeit@gmail.com, @remade on Twitter, @theyremadeit on Instagram, and go ahead and check us out on any of your podcasting platforms: iTunes, Google, Spreaker, Spotify, Stitcher, all those good ones. Leave us some reviews, some likes, throw them our way, get us up there, and just keep listening into the new year.
Yeah, send us some messages, like we mentioned it before. Good old people across the world, Hong Kong, if you actually, like, A, are real, and B, understand what we're saying. I know English is the main language there, but still, you might just have us on in the background just for the sake of some white noise, which we don't mind.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. You know,
Give me some of them messages from New Delhi. Come on, send them my way.
how you tell us how Scotland's doing, how the whole Brexit shit's going down.
Ooh, yeah, I know you're all very opinionated about that for good reason.
I read you guys' Twitters all the time.
I don't understand half of it, but boy,
Yeah.
it is enthralling.
Yeah, send us some messages in your Twitter dialect. That'd be hilarious.
No slang expired. Expired? Expensed.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. You can just make slang up. We'll probably just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's what I just did. All right.
Yeah, I think that kind of sets us up pretty well. We talked a lot about next year, but we also next year. We talked a lot about this past year, but I think we talked a good amount about next year too, which I'm excited for. It's rare that I come to an end of the year and I'm like, I'm genuinely excited for next year.
That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
God, I hope shit's gonna be okay. I really do. I'm hopeful, but I'm also realistic. We'll make it good. We'll go see Sonic. Everything will be fine.
We'll make it good. We'll make it good. Sonic's coming. We'll make it good. Sonic's coming. He'll be here. He'll make it good.
The vision of a hopeful future is a 4-foot high blue creature.
I'm gonna get a chili dog at the Alamo Draft House.
Oh my god, dude, they probably actually will serve them.
I hope so.
I'm genuinely excited. Oh man. Well, yeah, thank you for listening to Sonic Cast. We are so very thankful for you all, for listening, for sticking around with us, and just choosing for us for your weird, complaining-ridden, movie-loving pair of idiots. Just sitting here talking about Sonic the fucking Hedgehog.
Yep. I'm glad there's people out there that can enjoy this. I know there's not a lot of people writing in or reviewing, but I've seen the numbers, so
yeah,
I'm glad that there are some people, that are out there.
You exist to some capacity, and that's enough for us.
That's good enough for me.
So, I'd say then, I guess I can say, as always, I am your host, Stuart.
And I'm your host, Jacob.
And God bless y'all. Have a good holiday season. Have a good Happy New Year. See you next decade.